Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Nakiato here, and welcome to episode 3 of the Heroes Hideout. I'm Nakiato, your kind host, and welcome, everybody. Today I'm joined by Norgoz, KageUta, Damien, Phyrus, and Highsight. If you find any of these people entertaining during the entire process of this broadcast, by all means, go ahead and look down in the description below for their links to their Twitters, their YouTubes, their Twitches, and everything else. And don't forget to check us out on Soundcloud if you don't have time to watch these live. So, we're a conversational gaming podcast, if you haven't quite got that from the description. But let's get right down into it. Yeah, introduce yourselves, guys.
This is Norgoz, fellow YouTuber, streamer. I just, I do stuff, comedian, I do a lot of things. I just happen to be here, and I love these people, and I love you guys, and yeah, just lots of love, and I need another beer. How you guys doing tonight?
I'm Cage. Ignore Norgoz. He's gonna get drunk and get angry. Anyways,
Yes, I will.
I'm a streamer, gamer, YouTuber, cosplayer. Yeah, I like to play games and stuff.
I'm Damien. I'm a musician and a gamer. Sometimes I stream, but I'm still kind of working on that. And I also cosplay.
I'm Phyrus. I'm a Twitch streamer. I'm sick as hell this week. I'm lucky I'm still alive and awake, so I'm going to try to suffer through it, but I'm glad to be here.
Whiskey.
And I'm Highsight. I do Twitch stuff and indie stuff and other stuff and the stuff going on up there in the video channel that you people listening from SoundCloud can't see.
Yeah, I guess I should probably say that. From here on out, let's try and not focus on everything video related that happens during the stream, just so we don't confuse the SoundCloud listeners, because we actually do have a few people that only listen to the SoundCloud.
Go to SoundCloud.
You fools!
SoundCloud
You're missing
users,
out on my silly
watch
antics.
the podcast.
Yeah, I will say this. We have a pretty, I think we've got a pretty solid, I don't know what the word I was looking for. Let me rephrase. I like listening to us on SoundCloud because the interactions and the antics and stuff that we have very little, dead air, and it's, I don't know, I really like listening to it on SoundCloud. I'll watch the playback myself and whatnot, but I also like listening to us just directly on SoundCloud, because if you actually are having to watch it, in some ways it does kind of take away from everything that we're talking about in some ways, because you're looking at what our facial expressions are, because I make an ass out of myself, I know. And then there's the the video stuff that we have on the actual live footage. I actually like it on the SoundCloud thing. So you guys listening on SoundCloud, I mean, you might be missing a few visual cues, but you know what? You're not really missing all that much at the same time. I'm not saying don't come and watch us, but just saying, it's it's just as enjoyable on SoundCloud as it is on the Twitch.
It's
Try
so
and make
depressing
it.
by comparison.
Try and make it live every Saturday night at 5 p.m. PDT, right here on the twitch.tv/Heroes Hideout channel. But if you can't, hey, look up Heroes Hideout on SoundCloud. It's pretty nice. I like the SoundCloud version because then I can continue to do other things like work or play games or whatnot.
Exactly.
So
Or drive.
or drive or anything
Yeah, I
like
love
that. Oh God, trying to watch one of these while driving. Don't do it, people.
Hey, it's possible.
Don't-
I know
don't
people that watch
do it.
movies while they drive. I don't
I used
encourage
to do
it,
that.
but it's possible.
I used to do that. Yeah, it was
Oh.
not. Yeah, no.
All right.
Don't
Google
do it.
Visor is going to be an interesting time when that happens.
Oh,
People
did you
watching
take
movies while
Visor?
they're flying down the highway.
Did you hear?
Sorry, Google Glass. Whatever.
Did you hear about the one chick that was pulled over and given a ticket for using Google Glass?
Oh, that was
Really?
a couple months back, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I heard about that.
She was driving, and a cop pulled her over, because she was going over the speed limit, and he gave her a ticket for having a second screen in the car, when it's just a little tiny thing that actually gives you navigation and everything too. So it's just okay, so I can't use my Google Glass, but yet I can have the big ass navigation on my
Everything
dash. That's fine.
It takes your Yeah, it takes your freaking focus away from it. You ever try and change the station and looking at the station at the same time? You're liable to hit somebody. Hell, I hit a giraffe yesterday.
Wow, a whole giraffe, huh?
A whole giraffe just driving down the highway, just a giraffe.
See, there's a fun mini game with that. When you hit a giraffe, however many trees it takes out with its neck, it's like a high score, you know?
That's your point multiplier.
Yeah.
What is this? Is this Giraffe Simulator or Car Destruction Giraffe Simulator? What? This is a game idea right now. We need to work on
Grand
this.
Theft Auto.
Guys, it's called Grand Theft Auto. It's been done.
I hate you all right now.
All right, well,
Whatever.
I'm just going to go into the new releases then. The games that released this week are Shelter 2, Assassin's Creed Rogue, well, for Windows, because that's already been out, Altair Shally Alchemist of the Dusk Sea, City Skyline, DMC Definitive Edition, you know, Devil May Cry, the reboot, came out for PS4 and Xbox One. You know, they re-released it, some HD textures and all that jazz. Dreamfall Chapters, Book 2, Rebels, yeah, okay, I think that title could have been named better than it was. Hotline Miami 2, wrong number. Mushroom Men, Truffle Trouble, Resident Evil 2 Revelations Episode 3, Tokyo Twilight's Ghost Hunters, Ori and the Blind Forest, Sid Meier's Starships, and Codename Steam.
Sorry.
So, the only two on this list that I even want to delve into talking about, me personally, are Shelter 2 and Devil May Cry. Shelter 2 is an interesting little indie game. The first one, you were focused around being badgers, and in this one, you're a... Oh, crap, it starts with a W. I can't remember the name of it. No, you're a lemur. You're... Lemur? I don't know.
A weemer.
Wombat? I don't know. One of those things. You're one of those helpless
Walrus?
animals.
A wascally rabbit?
Probably a walrus.
Either
but,
way, we don't need no stinking badgers.
but the basic idea behind it is you are a mother of 4 cubs, you know, 4 little baby animals, and you have to go out and hunt and kill stuff, and then bring them to come and eat the food, and make sure all of them eat and don't get stuck behind a rock, and then one of them dies from starvation because you didn't notice he was stuck behind a rock, while protecting them from like wolves and whatnot. And it's done in a very interesting art style. It kind of reminds me of more of a polygon looking. You remember Omi? Oh fuck! I can't remember that game for the PS2 where you were like a wolf and everything was
Okami?
super artistic. Yeah, Okami.
Okami.
Super
Okami.
artistic and shit. It reminds me of that, but without like the cool mechanics and shit. Just the art style. It has similar cues. It's not a bad game. It's not getting very good reviews from the major websites or anything, but when it comes to like Steam reviews or people that are reviewing it that are small YouTubers and whatnot, they seem to really like it because it makes you feel for, you know, the children that may eventually die. So when they do die, you're just heartbroken and crap. But
Ha ha! Mortality.
Yep. But no, it's not bad. If you're into like indie games and stuff like that, I would say check it out. At least look it up and see if you like it. And then the other one, definitely not an indie game. Devil May Cry Definitive Edition. We're getting a ton of remastered games. It's kind of nuts. I don't like paying full price for a game that I played last generation, but overall, the reboot to Devil May Cry, it's not bad. He's basically a hipster version of himself. But if you can look past the hipster version of him and you know, you're not tied to the old Dante, then the new one is good. But there are a couple things about this definitive edition that make it not so definitive. Like, for example, audio gets out of desync during cutscenes. Like, seconds out of sync, to the point where you'll say something and then he'll start talking in the game. It's it's nuts, and it's bad. It's really bad. And then also the cutscenes don't look nearly as good as they did, the cutscenes look as good as they did on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, but they didn't really redo those. They didn't re-render those videos. So it's kind of like a few games have done this, where they don't re-render those videos, and when you're going from gameplay that is 60 frames a second and super high quality and looks awesome to cutscenes that are more pixelated and run at 30 frames a second, it's very, very distracting, and it's really annoying. But the combat in the game, pretty damn solid. It's a really fun fighting game. If you're playing it just for the fighting aspects, it's pretty killer. If you're jumping into it for the story, or if something like those cutscenes would bug the shit out of you, don't even bother.
So Naki, this is DMC. This is the remake, the Dante's Son for the PS3 game.
Yes.
Okay. So it's not the original. It's the okay.
Yeah.
The intro, the first scene of that game is pretty cool, where he's like he's in his trailer, and the trailer gets flipped up and shit, and then he's got to like make it out of his trailer like midair as it's flying through the air. And he's like putting on his pants and like grabbing his sword and finding his guns, and he flies out the other end and he's like shooting stuff, like
Just
flying
another
backwards.
day in the life.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It reminded me a lot of the opening scene for Saints Row 3, where you're like falling out of the airplane like through other airplanes and shit, and it was pretty cool.
White trash demon bastard living in a fucking trailer. Motherfucker.
Yeah, I played DMC when it came out, and the only complaint I personally have against it is the lack of, like, all their jokes are like really simple, like dick jokes and stuff like that, and I'm like, you could have done a little bit better. It could have been a little bit better, but it really fits his character, the character that they wanted him to be. So it makes sense. It's just kind of his. It almost seems like he lacks a little bit of dimension because of that. They make him really simple.
Lacks dimension.
Because he's
Interdimensional, yeah.
Just like
doesn't have that depth.
The thought that.
Depth. Like a penis.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Moving on.
Well, Cage.
The game I wanted to talk about was Ori and the Blind Forest, and that was am I allowed to go to this game now, or was I supposed to talk about Devil May Cry?
Do it.
I actually just purchased the game in the last hour and a half, because I was looking it up on Steam, and its reviews are it is overwhelmingly positive. Out of less than, or just shy of 1,200 reviews, only 32 of them are negative. Everybody just says this game is absolutely amazing, and from what I played so far, I'm loving it. The art is beautiful. It's very, very colorful. The music is right on spot. I almost feel like I'm playing through almost like a Pixar or DreamWorks movie, almost, just with how well timed everything is and just the mood that it all sets for. I actually really like some of the reviews from some people. They're like, I just cried within the first 10 minutes of the story. So it's pretty touching.
It's fucking up.
Is that a good thing? I mean, if you're crying that early on, is they crying out of happiness? They crying out of, God, why'd I get this game? I mean,
it's definitely regarding the story. It's pretty much the base point of the story. You play as Ori, an orphan of, if I understand correctly, of the tree of life or whatever for the forest, and the idea is your caretaker dies and you're left to fend for yourself. And then throughout your attempt at survival, you learn about what happened to the forest and how to kind of bring it, or you're pretty much tasked with trying to save the forest. This was made by Moon Studios, an indie developer, but it was published by Microsoft. And it was actually released sooner on, I believe it was released on console. I just lost my page for that. Xbox 360. and Xbox One. Sorry, Xbox 360 is supposed to be released later. It was released on Xbox One as well. But overall, it's a platformer. It's a lot of fun. The controls are really smooth. I prefer to play it with a controller, though. So,
I've only seen footage of it today. It looked really cool. The artistic style blew me away, quite frankly. Right from the get-go with the menu and everything, when you hit start on the menu, all the trees start going crazy, and I can't describe it in a way that would articulate it beautifully, but it looked so beautiful.
It's interesting because you gain levels. Like, you start out the game and all you can do is jump. And so you can only do very basic tasks, but as you collect more pieces, there's energy pieces that you collect, and you actually gain levels, and you have 3 skill trees to go through. One's more for combat. The way the combat works is you actually meet a being called, it's spelled S-E-I-N, I believe it's Sign, or Sane, I don't know. And that spirit actually protects you and fights for you. Ori is pretty much passive other than running, jumping, climbing walls, and whatnot. So you're actually 2 beings trying to save the forest.
Would you say it's more of an RPG or a Metroidvania?
I haven't really gotten far enough into the game to really have an opinion on that yet.
Okay.
But so far, the story's pretty solid from the hour I've played. So I'm still getting the rest of the story introduced to me.
Yeah, if Microsoft is backing it, I'm sure it's got to be good, because Microsoft doesn't just back anything, especially an indie title.
Right. Overall, it's got nothing but good reviews. I think the lowest rating it's gotten was an 8 out of 10 from, who was that? Game Trailers, and IGN gave it an 8.5, but everybody else is getting 9 and 9.5s out of 10 from almost all major reviewers.
That's impressive.
I would recommend playing it with a controller, though.
IGN's like 8.5, too much art.
Too much water.
IGN,
there's water.
3 out of 10, greatest game ever. IGN. 10 out of 10, it's okay.
I love IGN when they do their reviews, because it's during the video or during like the text version of it, they'll talk about how, oh, this was wonderful and this was great and I absolutely love this, and then all of a sudden they get to the score and it's just like 5.0 or fucking like 7.2 or some shit like that, and it's just like, but you talked so good about the game. You had 1 or 2 things you didn't like about it. What's the deal? IGN. They bother me sometimes.
Here's the question though, Naki. With a rating system like that, and you give 7s across the board, would you rather them do that, or would you rather them be like GameSpot that gives like 9.5 and 9.6 and 9.7, and this game was a 9.8? So instead of it taking a scale from 30 for a horrible game up to 100, some other rating systems basically take it from a 90 to 100. So then you're rating based on tenths percentage.
You want to know what I would like to see from a big review website? Or big, news covering website like that? To remove the fucking rating system as it's known right now. I hate that rating system. I really do. It makes it so any game that scores below a fucking 8.0 doesn't get looked at by mass market. It's stupid. It's
like
really
NPS.
Ridiculous.
So you can put like a final verdict or like, just general thoughts, pros and cons, but fuck the rating system. You can't describe a game in a 1 out of 10 number system and expect it to actually be an accurate depiction of what that game is,
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I think Metacritic's tried to do that by giving it it's a conglomerate score as opposed to individual scores. But if you read through some of the reviews on Metacritic that get factored in, the low ones are horrible. Actually, they're laughable, some of them. But it's kind of a strange system to have a number value on your game's reviews at this point in time anyway. Especially considering most of these things are driven by advertisements for these games. So,
yeah,
grain of salt.
Well, the games I checked out, well, I'll just start with Dreamfall Chapters Book 2 and Dash Rebels. It's a long name.
Wow.
So they added their first. This is the second in their new releases. They had a game that was made like 8 years ago that the last two follow up on, and basically what it is it plays similar to like if you were out of combat in like Dragon Age or something, but there's no combat. It's all just interactions with other people, and those interactions affecting you throughout the whole game. So you can't play this Chapters Book 2 without playing the previous game, because all of your previous decisions heavily impact the game for this. And basically what it is there's these two different worlds, and some people, or they're like different dimensions kind of, and some people can cross those dimensions, and some people cross them through dreams, and it follows two characters that can kind of cross those, and their adventures, I guess, and their decisions and conflicts and stuff throughout the worlds like that. It looks pretty pretty, I guess. The game looks nice. It has a very heavy artistic feel. They have a lot of like a good environments, I guess. I can't articulate very well right now, apparently. But so it's kind of like an interactive novel, but with a interesting half sci-fi futuristic, half kind of medieval back and forth. So yeah.
I haven't played it. I don't have any input.
I haven't played it either. I just looked it up. I would say that if you're into interactive stories like that, definitely check it out. The characters have like internal monologues when you speak to people, so you get more of a background. So like when you talk to a guy who's part of like a different clan or something, and they had attacked your clan like far in the past, and you have some resentment towards him, the character will show that with an internal monologue and talk himself through how he feels about it, which kind of explains the radial wheel decisions that you get. So that's kind of interesting. It gives you a little bit more insight than you normally get if you just have a radial wheel and you just pick one, you know?
Next.
I
Okay.
picked out. Did you gonna say something?
I had another one.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. I also checked out Tokyo Twilight Ghost Hunters, and that looks to play. It's about this guy. He's like in a school. He's a high school kid or whatever, typical type JRPG stuff. And he ends up joining a company that hunts ghosts. And the game plays kind of like Persona in between combat. And then once you get into combat, it turns into like this weird like a tactics type deal. But the interesting mechanics of this game are when you relate with other people or talk to other people or with any other like object or whatever, you have a sense wheel, or you have like an emotion wheel and an action wheel. So you can like, when you're talking to a friend, you can like lovingly touch them or something like that. And it changes the actions.
Wait.
Like, you can't.
Like,
we can't just not analyze that sentence.
Wait a
Passionately
No,
spacebar.
Wait, where's the
passionately
touching?
spacebar, yeah. Or you can
There we
like
go.
angrily touch
the
them
price
to like
sex.
smack them. Yeah. So
Beautiful.
So you get all these weird combinations.
I'll
And
bet
what-
you
what
do.
are the-
What game is this again?
It's a Tokyo Twilight Ghost Hunters
Oh,
for
I'm already
PS3 and PS
downloading.
Vita.
Fucking
And
download
you
it
can-
right now. Like where you can
Thi-
lovingly
this-
touch them. Oh,
Oh,
where's
baby.
this
This
scene at?
goes what?
Do I have to map that to a controller, or is that just something?
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna have to. But like you run into stuff like investigating shit, and like there'll be like white goop on the ground, and you can be like, I don't know.
Whoa.
I'm gonna
Whoa.
smell it. I don't know.
Smells like
Get to investigate.
It's ectoplasm. It's ectoplasm.
We're gonna hope it's
ectoplasm can smell
ectoplasm.
like fish.
That's
Well-
what they call it. That's what the kids.
Is it always
call it
ectoplasm?
nowadays.
Just
Well, you can lick it and find out.
don't walk into
it's
Gaz's
ghostly
house and
things.
expect to
You don't know
find
what
some
the ghost
ectoplasm to smell. that's not ectoplasm you're smelling right there.
But the shows or the game is the combat system, from what people are saying, is kind of convoluted when it goes into the tactics thing. It doesn't explain a lot of things very well, and it's kind of very unique, but not necessarily in a good way. You'd have to play it yourself to see if you like it, or play a demo, or watch a video of it. But I think those radio wheels, emotion and action, doing those together like that, gives you a whole range of new possibilities for interacting with other people in an RPG type setting. Because like, if you have like a stare action and you have like 8 different emotions you can put behind that stare, I mean that's just an interesting concept.
With the loving touches.
With loving touches or angry touches where you smack them.
Whoa!
And then you loving touch them afterwards. So
And
you
then
gotta,
you
gotta
smell their goo.
That's some 50 Shades of Grey shit, right?
smell their goo.
And then you find out what their goo is.
50 Shades of Tokyo.
Yep. All right. Phyrus, what'd you play?
I played City Skylines this week. It's very much thing number 1 coming in the room. It's very much like SimCity. It's a city builder. It's built just like SimCity. You control power. You control water coming into your city, as well as sewage going out of your city. Transportation, zoning between commercial, residential, office space, and industry. There's all the regular SimCity stuff, the pollution, the noise pollution, things that you have to balance. There's fire station coverage. There's police station coverage. There's education. It's very well built out, very well stacked as far as balancing it, to the point that I've played up to about 7,000 people, which is like a small city. It's very forgiving at the beginning. Granted, every time that you play it, you reach a point where you're like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that, and now I'm gonna have to redesign the way I do my next city, because it doesn't fully explain a lot of different things. But it's a learning curve, so you get better at the game as you go. Does anyone else want to cue in on Skylines? If you saw anything?
I've only seen
Haven't seen
videos,
anything.
and from what I've seen, it seems like an excessively beautiful city simulator.
Beautiful,
The glacier. I don't know. It seems beautiful.
Simulation?
Can you build
Simulation.
cities larger than SimCity?
Yeah.
But can you
I'm-
lovingly touch it?
Not with a twin stick. No, there's no twin sticks.
Only a single
but-
stick, okay.
But you can actually zoom in on individual citizens within your city, and you can even rename them if you wanted to. So if you wanted, you could find somebody walking down the street or going to work, whatever. You could tag them, and it'll keep the window box open, their information box. So if you were curious and stalkery, you could follow a single citizen throughout your city to see what was going on.
Wow, that's
Wait,
player
is
shit
this
right there.
this sounds like Watch Dogs, the way that they initially portrayed it, but it doesn't actually turn out like that. So does this game actually let you do that?
You can follow
Only
somebody.
space. Okay.
Um,
Only space bar then.
But it's well done. I'm borrowing it from a friend of mine through his Steam library. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'd recommend it if you're a fan of the SimCity series. And from what my buddy says, who's played the previous SimCity, he says it's set up to be better than the previous SimCity. But like I said, it's beautiful. The graphics are there. The trees move in the wind. The water rises. The traffic is very individualized. You can see if you've got too many buses going, your roads get clogged. And then if your roads get clogged, you can't get oil to your power station. If your power station goes out, then there's no power to your pump station, and then nobody has water, and the sewage backs up, and everyone's pissed. So it's It's a really good game, very very well balanced. You obviously have your time sliders. You can go regular speed, double speed, triple speed, pause it if you want. But yeah, I think it's a very well done game from what I've seen at this point. The other game that I looked at this week is Sid Meier's Starships. This game is set in the same time period as the After Earth series that was just released, I don't know, a half year ago, a couple months ago. You basically take charge of a star fleet. You can increase the number of ships that you have. You can upgrade the ships with different attributes. You can put launching bays in it to have fighters come out of your ships, or you can build up rail guns, or make them so they're faster. So it's got a hex map, like a lot of the Sid Meier's games do, and it's set up where you can go to different star systems and set up bases or set up cities on different planets to gain resources. Then you have to defend your cities and push across the galaxy to an endpoint. Right now it's out for Windows, but they're planning on having an OS X and a iOS version. So from what I've seen, it looks like it's going to be very easily adaptable to an iPad setting, which I think will be good for this game. It's not as in-depth from what I've seen to a lot of the other Civilization stuff, but it's more of an action type. I think he did something recently, Sid Meier's, with fighter planes last year. I think it was biplanes or something like that. It seems kind of like a more in-depth sci-fi version, obviously, than biplanes. But it's a combat simulator, as well as some of the multitasking with the resources. So yeah, it looks interesting. Definitely worth a peek if you're into that type of game.
And what I've looked at this week, what I've been looking at this week, Hotline Miami 2, which for anyone who knows me knows that I loved Hotline Miami 1. So this for me was a big thing. I mean, a very, very, very big thing. Anyway, whoever played Hotline Miami 1, you know that Hotline Miami 1... Oh, go on.
Can you lovingly touch it?
You can lovingly touch some things, but it's mostly angrily touching.
Okay, that sounds awesome. Go, please continue. It is. I'm listening very, very intently.
Wow. Ooh, baby. Get your hand out of there. Anyway.
Very lovingly, I am listening.
So, Hotline Miami 1, as we all know, it was very much an ultra-violent puzzler, top-down shooter-style thing. One hit, one kill, both for you and all enemies. Beautiful game. Played wonderfully. The action was constant, and the music was amazing. It was one of the things that drew people in, the aesthetic and the music. It was fantastic. Hotline Miami 2 comes out. No one really knows what to expect. I mean, how are you going to do a sequel on a game that didn't really have much of a plot? There was kind of dialogue, but the plot didn't really tell you much of anything. Well, it turns out with Hotline Miami 2, what they did was they made it all plot. I mean, like, I'd say a solid 20 to 30% of the time you spend playing that game is going to be watching cutscenes. Now, this is not inherently bad, especially considering the plot of the game, in my opinion, was amazing. I ended up beating the game in 2 streaming sessions. Took me about 6 hours, give or take, which is much longer than the last game, which took me more like 3 hours, I want to say, so it's about double the time. But a lot of the time was spent watching the story instead of doing the ultra-amazing fighting. So the question is, which one is really better? And the answer to that to me is, if you played the first one, you're going to like the second one, but you're going to have a lot of plots, whereas the first one was just mainly action. At the end of the day, I thought the first one was better, just because you were constantly in the action. There was very little plot to get in the way. But if you're someone who likes plot, and deep down inside I truly am, the second one offered a very impressive plot that tied all the loose ends together from the first one. There was no more questions about the first one. The first one's been pretty much completely answered. So, bottom line, if you played Hotline Miami 1, if you liked Hotline Miami 1, get Hotline Miami 2. It's more of the same. The mechanics are a lot more in-depth on the whole. There are a few bugs that weren't in the original one, but there's also going to be a level editor, so that's going to be cool. When that comes out, they're saying sometime in the spring, I don't know. I would say go get it if you liked Hotline Miami 1. And I can safely say I enjoyed my time with the game. I'm sure I'm going to be playing through it even more. Even though some of the level design wasn't as top-notch as the other one, there's a lot of these little hallways where you can't see all the way down and the enemy shoots you and all that stuff. It's a big memorization game. But I will say, just go play Hotline Miami 2. Go play Hotline Miami 1 if you haven't played Hotline Miami 1. And then go play Hotline Miami 2. Because if you play Hotline Miami 1, you're going to find that you want more. And Hotline Miami 2 delivers that in spades.
Until the enemies get stuck on a door.
Okay, you watched that. You saw it. That was bullshit. Oh my god, that was so. There's this bug where they just kind of keep on twitching at a door, and you can't do anything about it. You keep hitting them, and they don't do anything.
They're invisible until they break off of the door, and then they kill you.
But you can't destroy the door. The doors never break. You can.
Wait, so
doors
you're saying you were stuck? You couldn't get through the doorway because
No, you weren't stuck. Even more fun than that, the enemies get stuck, and they keep on twitching there, and you need to kill all the enemies to proceed, so you need to find a way to kill that fucker.
Oh, you can't reach them through the stairs, or the door. Sorry, I keep thinking of Diablo 1,
it's like
where you could glitch the butcher in the steps or a doorway, 'cause that's the only way you can fight him, so...
No, it's weird. It's like you can keep on attacking him and everything like that, but it won't hit unless you're at a very specific angle. It's a screwed up bug. They better fix it soon. I literally yelled at all of the when I was watching the credits and I saw the QA testers. I was like, "No, you guys do not deserve special thanks. You did not earn that." But on the whole, especially the plot, I gotta say, despite the fact that it interfered with the game a lot for me because I wasn't playing as much, I was watching more, despite that, I gotta say, the plot for Hotline Miami 2 is pretty fucking boss, especially when you overanalyze it. You keep noticing little things. I've been watching the subreddit a bit, and people keep noticing these things that I didn't notice before. And I had some questions. I was like, well, what was this and what was this? I never explained this. Well, they did explain it. It was just exceptionally subtle, but there. So, that's the kind of stuff I like. I don't know about you guys. You guys like that? You guys, you need to get opinions.
You guys like that? Silence.
You can't lovingly touch it, okay? You can't lovingly touch it. So here we go. On a scale of 1 to 5, I give the gameplay a 3. So even though I've never played it in my life, I give the sound a 4. And the lovingly touch scale, I give it a half a point. If you can't lovingly touch it, you just can't get... And then out of 1 out of 5, the overall score is like a -2. Because you can't fucking lovingly touch it, okay?
But you can spacebar. You can spacebar. It's Hotline Miami. This is where you originally spacebar people.
You're correct. This is the original spacebar creator. Spacebar! Oh.
Yes. Highsight, do you get different masks in this game with different abilities like Hotline Miami 1?
Interestingly enough, you do, but the thing is, there's a lot less of them. With the original game, here's one of the things. As I said, this game is very plot-oriented, and what it does actually, you don't play one character like you did in Hotline Miami. In Hotline Miami, you played a silent protagonist that people have just dubbed Jacket, because there's no other name for him, but he has a very specific jackets that other characters don't tend to have. So in this game, you play all sorts of different characters swapping throughout different periods of time. You keep on every level, you could be playing as a different character, and those characters have different little things about them. So not all the characters are mass killers. Some of them are just your standard, like, mobster or something like that. So instead, he had, like, brass knuckles or a necklace or something like that. But you could still choose at the beginning what to give those specific characters, and you could actually have different abilities through them. Abilities that were never in Hotline Miami 1, such as dual-wielding SMGs, or dodge rolling, or something else that was interesting. I think, in my opinion, the most interesting character out of all of them was a writer that actually was not allowed to kill ever in Hotline Miami, the game about killing everybody. He was not allowed to kill. So what you had to do was use non-lethal weapons to take people down. And that, in my opinion, was the most interesting part of the game, was finding a way not to use lethal weapons to take everybody down. You could still use bats and such, but you weren't going for the kill, you were just going to take them down. And I don't know, to me, that was very interesting. But yes, to answer your question, there are masks that change up the gameplay.
Cool. My favorite mask from 1 was the lethal doors. I used to love that mask.
Get rid of that one. I love that one too. That was so good.
You just like hide behind a door, wait till they come out, you like push a door to like kill somebody, smacking them in the face. Loved it.
So good.
they've actually been pushing. I think the Payday developers have hooked up and have been partnering with Hotline Miami because they just recently released a big update. So they have a character Jacket from Hotline Miami. I have no idea who he is, but he wears a chicken head. Okay. But they have those masks unlockable as well now in Payday, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's correct.
But you have to own Hotline Miami 2 for it.
That's correct. That's Richard is the original Rooster mask. I've been wearing him in Payday 2 for a little while now. He's my boy, Richard. Even though in Payday 2 he's a total dick. I'm sorry, Hotline Miami. Richard is a total dick in Hotline Miami 2. He's basically I don't want to give away spoilers, but he's basically the embodiment of. He's the harbinger of death. That's the best description I can give you, without giving away spoilers.
Well, then he fits in with the Payday crew quite well.
Oh, he certainly does.
What else we do this week? Knock, you're muted.
Oh, Knock, you're
Have
muted.
your mic.
Oh, yeah. No, that happens sometimes.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I wanted to mention this one before we move on to the news. Skyforge actually, went into open beta, or not open beta, closed beta testing this week, and me and Norgoz have been playing the shit out of that. That's fun. I like that game a lot, actually.
Yep.
But yeah, I just wanted to drop that in there before we move on. It's
like it's hot.
Yeah, pretty much. It's
well, if you're dropping something in, I want to drop something in too, if you don't mind.
Uh-oh.
Yo, you guys, everybody listening right now, you got to check out this game called Crosscode. It's an independent game. It's in development, and it needs funding. It really does. It's basically Secret of Mana mixed with Phantasy Star Online. And if either of those games interest you, just go check it out. There's a free demo. It's so cool, dudes. I need this game funded. It needs to be done. Please, I beg of you.
all right. Well, moving on to the news. Norgoz, are you ready, sir?
Did we go through everything yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
You sure?
Yep. Norgoz.
Yeah.
Go.
Did you have something you wanted to talk about, Norgoz?
Did we already? Well, we got a few here that I thought. I don't know. Maybe I missed it. I've been zoned out.
You missed it. News. Introduce
everything.
us.
You missed your chance.
Okay,
News,
fine.
motherfuckers!
Moving on. Let me drink my beer first.
Because you need more of that.
Guys, you make me so mad sometimes. That was my soul
I missed it.
right now.
I missed it.
He's got
Your
a
soul
lick.
has excellent bravado.
You know what?
It really
The thing
does.
is that I had this entire week to come up with a new little ditty for the news, but I didn't. So, news. It's the news. Yes, it's the news. Are you ready for the news? Wake up, motherfucker!
All right. Well, now that we have Gaz's introduction to the news, let's get down into it.
Oh, yeah.
So, anybody remember Grand Theft Auto 5 at all? Maybe, possibly.
Nope.
That
Oh,
fun-ass
I'm a little-
game that came out that was...
Not the game that I purchased
Saints Row
on PC months ago. Keep pushing it back.
You poor bastard. Well, anybody that
Someday
owns
I'll
a
have heard of it.
console, that game is pretty damn fantastic. Now, one thing that they talked about way back when they first came out was something called heists. Now, what that is you go online with some friends and you can plan bank robberies or rob jewelry stores and so on and so forth, and you have to plan your getaway and so on and all that jazz. Lot of fun. Lots of fun. They have one in the single player, and then now they have 5 in the multiplayer, GTA Online, and one introductory to it. It's pretty badass. Like, it's fucking cool. If you haven't been touching your Grand Theft Auto 5 copy in a while, I promise you, go log on to that shit right now and go play some heists, because they're killer.
Lovingly touching.
Yeah, I went ahead and I looked at one, actually. I looked at one while it was on a YouTube video. It was the Prison Break one. Have you guys seen that one?
All I know is that you're under your desk right now.
I'm all over the place,
And I
dude.
think
Don't even
it's-
question it.
I think it's
It's
sexy.
I know. I love doing that to you guys. But anyway, with this one in particular, it was really cool. So you had different roles. It was like Payday 2, except with Payday 2, you usually all stick together, and while you're doing the same thing, it's usually not like you're all separated doing very specific things. You know, you're usually staying together, you're trying to accomplish the same goal. With this one, what it was, you chose very specific roles for the very specific heist you were doing, which in this case was a prison break. You had one person who played the prisoner, you had one person who played the prison guard, you had another person who was your escape route. He was basically in a helicopter trying to fight off other helicopters who was trying to take him down. And it was really cool. I mean, I love Payday 2, and it's like they took this formula, applied it to GTA, and did it successfully. It was very cool. Long story short, they won.
I think that was a perfect opportunity for us to do the sarcastic clap. I think that ship is sailed.
Missed it.
You missed it.
It's gone.
It's not coming back.
Gone.
I can't push a button, man. We need to. Whatever.
He wants his own button.
Lost your head.
But yeah, it was really cool. I mean, anyone who's played Payday 2 would definitely appreciate this mode. Anyone who hasn't played Payday 2 would think that this mode was original, which it kind of is, but it also isn't.
Just wait for
Yeah,
the
but
game
see,
to
I wasn't-
eventually come out on PC.
I wasn't a fan of Payday 2, so
You
I like,
shut your whore
You're
mouth
doing it
right
wrong.
now,
I'm,
right?
I'm sorry. I'm not a fan of that
Whoa.
gameplay style.
Lots of spacebar.
It is Left 4 Dead on steroids.
I didn't
will
like.
have-
I
will
didn't
hear-
like Left 4 Dead.
You get out of this podcast that you
Oh,
run.
no.
You want to invite
Shots
yourself
fired.
to hosting.
I also didn't like Counter-Strike. I don't like that type of movement.
What?
And yeah, no, I'm not a fan of that.
Oh, I see your problem. You have independency
things.
issues, by which you need to do everything. In this game, you have to rely on other people, and you
No,
just
no, no,
can't
no.
handle that.
No, I
can
don't
you?
like the gameplay itself, like the way it feels. You know how?
Because he doesn't like working with people.
No.
Right?
That's not what I'm meaning. I'm meaning the way your
Low
character
wolf.
moves and the way you aim and everything like that. I don't like Twitch feeling type movement, whereas I like the more slower paced.
Oh.
Running.
Got it.
I don't
What's
want to
different
play a
between these
character.
and Advanced Warfare?
Just decrease the sensitivity on your mouse by like a ton.
Right?
You'd be fine.
He likes to lovingly touch his sniper rifle.
But in
And I don't question it when he does it.
In Modern Warfare, you don't feel like you're running like you're, hyped up on crack and shit. In Modern Warfare,
But
yeah,
what's
you
the
have
fun in it?
But I don't like that style of movement. It's not. I hate it. I can't stand it. But yeah, that's just how I feel. Jesus, God, you get
You're not
get
allowed
off
to
my
feel
back.
here.
Apparently
You're not
not.
allowed to
Hang
hang
up
up
on
on
We're not
Well,
allowed to
you
have
get 'em.
different opinions. Jesus.
You think you can have opinions?
Apparently
Someone throw an
not.
ultra ball. We got him on the ropes.
Yeah,
See, I would- I would
don't
like
need an
to
ultra,
enjoy-
Don't waste that.
Yeah,
I'd
you're
like
right.
to enjoy
Pokeball.
Payday 2. I'd like to enjoy it, but I suck at it. Every time I try to play it, I get kicked out of every match because I don't know what the hell's going on.
Play with us.
Yeah, play with
Yeah,
us.
you gotta
yeah.
play with like people who don't care that you suck, because everybody sucks when they start.
Dude,
I'm
I'm
a-
terrible at that
Yeah.
game, but I like playing it.
Oh, I'm
Yeah, I
amazing
like
at
playing
it.
it too. I just take my shot. I'm just the enforcer. I'm just the muscle. That's all I do. I'm a fucking meathead. I usually get.
See, I'm
get
amazing
shot-
at it, but I sucked at it.
Yeah. It's
No,
fun,
we're like,
though.
hey, Norgoz. Norgoz like, what? Bullets ricocheting off the back of his head. Hey, you're supposed to be over here. Oh, it's time to leave? Okay.
Okay.
Down.
I want to
We're
kill.
gonna
I
get
do. I'm supposed to be the tank and the damage dealer. I got a shotgun, headshot here, headshot there. I get like 200 headshots a game or whatever. It's fucking fun as hell. I have like 15% accuracy, 200 headshots. It's fucking awesome.
You're literally just genociding cops. It's like
Yes.
you are killing cops as a people. There are no more cops after you finish a single heist in this game.
For some reason, I feel related to them as I'm a ginger and only like 1% of the population, and we're kind of getting mass genocide by not like people not wanting to have sex with us. So it kind of sucks.
Hey, you still have Louis C.K. to live on your little
Louis!
Them
There
actually
you go.
people.
He's not a ginger.
Yeah, he is.
He's pretty ginger-esque.
I don't know.
Oh,
think
he's
he
part
is.
Mexican. Does that have any like impact on gingerism?
No.
Gingivitis?
Well, depending on your culture, you may ginger your hair. Like the Japanese culture seems to do that fairly often.
I think it's only relevant if you're from Ireland.
Or
They've got a
Latino.
high percentage of gingers, but
Guys, are the ginger people getting like overrun by false gingers? Is this happening? People
It's a
passing
thing.
themselves off?
It's a fad now.
It's a thing. Gingers are just that sexy, but at the same time, people are like, Actually, people do want to sleep with us. I don't know where I was going with that joke. I really don't.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I
Well,
mean,
what's funny
they
here
have
is,
an
like,
entire
we might
subreddit
already be in a
dedicated to them. I mean, come on.
We might already
Yep.
be in a society where gingers are extinct. We just don't know it because
We're not-
people are acting like. Guys, are you dyeing your hair? Are you a true ginger?
I am a true ginger through and through. I was a blonde growing up, and it quickly went ginger very, very quickly, and then everything went south on me.
All right, I'll believe you this.
If they jump on your face, that is.
Alright, well, I'm moving on to the next topic. Titanfall 2 confirmed in development at Respawn. So, I don't know why they had to come out and confirm this. Everybody already knew this. Titanfall 2, it's coming. It's coming. It was planned to have a sequel since the beginning, and they pretty much pushed that as this is going to be a goddamn new franchise. But now they've confirmed it, and they confirmed that it's going to be multi-platform. It's going to be for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Now,
Good.
yes,
Good.
yes, they need to do this because they saw that the PlayStation sold 20 million fucking units, and we're just like,
Yep.
we made a huge mistake.
Yeah, we backed the wrong pony, guys.
We didn't pull an upset. It just upset us.
I'm guessing it's a lot of power
We tried to release the system seller, and we wound up doing the opposite.
We sold for the wrong system, guys. It was a 50-50. I'm sorry.
All your controller belonged to us.
No more Azure, guys. We're pulling that shit. This is like legit servers now.
This is wait, hang on a second. Is this real world or is this training?
We're not negotiating, Shakur.
Is this real world or is this a training exercise?
Oh, it's real world, dude.
It's real world.
It's real world.
God, we gotta contact the journal. We gotta get on this shit right now. We gotta back more of the PlayStation. It's gotta happen. It's gotta happen. Pull more from Xbox. Put more into PlayStation. Do it now! Get to the chopper, but only the PS4.
Developers of Titanfall. Was
it's
Microsoft one of the publishers for it? Is that why it was exclusive to PC and
They had an
Xbox?
exclusivity deal with Respawn Entertainment.
Basically,
I'm sure they
Microsoft,
made plenty of money.
Microsoft
then.
paid them a boatload of money, but I'm sure they didn't pay them enough money to to account for $20 million worth of possible sales. So that's where I think they screwed up. Because back when Titanfall first came out, they even said, like 2 months after the game released, yeah, no, the reason why we decided to go for Xbox exclusivity is we feel like Microsoft is going to be going in the right direction this generation, and then they saw that Microsoft is trailing behind by quite a bit in system sales, and we're just like,
Whoops.
yep, whoops, we fucked up. We misjudged that by a lot. Let's not do that again.
Guys, the coin lied to us when we flipped it. It should have been heads, not tails.
Pretty much.
Always go with heads. Because head is
Did they mention at all what direction they were going to?
That's what I'm afraid of.
Lovingly touched. Did they mention what direction they were going to take Titanfall? Because as far as story, I loved playing Titanfall as a multiplayer. Their campaign, though, I have no idea what was happening. Some sort of war was happening, and I shot people. And
they mentioned
I
that
don't
they
have my
further
badges
into
for that.
single.
Good
They
soldier.
want to delve further into single-player game because they realized
Yes.
they made a huge mistake by
Yes.
introducing all of this lore and then not having a true single-player campaign. What were they thinking, man?
That, you know what, honestly, thinking about that, like, really kind of I can have this vision of how, like, you're in, like, a hangar bay, and you're having a conversation with, like, the mechanic or, like, somebody, like, high up in the chain of command, and so I can sense that this could be really, really sexy. Dear God, don't fuck it up. Just don't fuck it up, please. This could be super sexy. Like, I might just get it just for the single player. You bring up a really good point, all this lore, like, how did this happen, you know?
Right, when I played the
Yeah, more
beta, that
like
was the
that.
first thing I said was, holy crap, this game must have an amazing single player. And then I find out it has no single player, and I was just thinking, what were they
Not exactly, yeah.
But I've got your back.
It seems like quite a few people have come back though once the DLC went free last week or earlier this last week. So that was pretty cool because I hopped in and got my butt kicked really bad. It was kind of sad.
Yeah.
I used to be good at this game, or so I thought.
I always had this thing about Titanfall. I always felt like it was kind of not really perfectly designed. I mean, it had its definite pros to it. It
Oh,
definitely
it
had a
was
lot
fun. It was damn fun.
Yeah, it was certainly fun.
Still
Oh, it was
fun.
damn fun. The parkour system was brilliant and everything.
Yes,
I think
yes, it
the
is.
dumbest thing they did was they put AI into the game that looked very similar to the pilots you need to kill. And
Yes.
That's the best part. You can hide within the groups.
But
Oh,
that
yeah,
was the
that's
problem,
true, but-
Cage. You could hide within the groups. You didn't know who you needed to target. It was like,
Shoot them all.
That's fine.
Yeah,
Just
who's
kill
the
'em
one who's
all.
actually going to kill me?
That's fine.
Use your
though.
smart pistol. Which one doesn't die automatically?
No,
you know it's
no,
clear.
you do not use a smart pistol. You are banned from my games. I'm you're not my friend anymore.
Yeah, smart pistol is a noob weapon. I hate the smart pistol. Here's the thing,
You're
though.
just mad though, guys. Remember the time that we played and the people that
Oh.
were using smart pistols just kept raping us? Oh god, it was
You
ridiculous.
see my beer?
It was-
I'm going to fucking kill this right now.
Well, you know what? I poured another rum and coke while nobody was looking, so here we go.
My suggestion to you about that, just get in your Titan and run them all over. Step on everything.
Well, here's the thing. Did
It's
they
not a
ever?
play.
Didn't they implement, or did they not? Or I thought they were talking about it, or they were going to. Did they ever implement a
Pilot
mode
mode?
where it's just it's non? There's no AI.
They implemented a pilot-only mode, as far as I know. Yes, I haven't played it myself, but
did.
it does exist. It's
Good.
8-on-8 pilots only. No,
Okay.
no Titans or anything.
Well, they've got the
That is
pilot
what was
only.
clear. Go on.
Well, they've got a pilot only deathmatch mode, but you still get the Titans. You still got to call. You still got to kill them. I know you know what I'm talking about. It's separate from that.
Yes,
Complete-
it's completely its own mode. They have integrated all of the DLC maps into all the modes now, so you're not stuck
Okay.
playing on like a random for the
Oh,
new
good.
DLC. But then they also included the pilot only 8-on-8 mode. It's not the one where you have a bounty. Everybody has to chase and kill one guy. It is its own. I guess my big concern with this is, are they going to pull a Call of Duty on this and just keep making the same game over and over?
it's a
more than
possibility. I mean,
Well,
they
here's the-
could
Go ahead.
they could do a bunch of different things. I mean, they could instead of just having Titans, they could have aerial vehicles as well over the
Ah.
top.
So what, you
they
think
could-
a Battlefield type thing?
Unreal Tournament?
They could do a bunch of things with this system.
I-
It's the base game is there with the parkour and the guns. I mean,
Mhm.
that's the base game.
See,
I mean, the
would-
Titans are the other part of the
That's
thing
awesome.
that make it so much better. So I mean, if you could stack on top of that, and you know, we were talking about this earlier in this chat. You need to make things fresh and different. Sometimes, Call of Duty's gotten crap because basically for a lot of the series, it was the same game over again with slight alterations. Yes, but they still sold 20 billion copies every time they did that. Titanfall 2, I think, could have success with staying true to the same basic game that they've got. Possibly if they add the single-player campaign to it with some backstory. I think that would, if they take regular Titanfall and add backstory to it, make some minor changes to it, I think it'll sell well. But like I said, you could add so many different layers on top of the base multiplayer game with different types of Titans. Maybe ground vehicles like tanks, as opposed to just walking mechs.
Man,
There's a lot of different things you could do.
If they make
Thanks.
tanks, I really hope you can pick up tanks and like chuck them across the room. Like be like
That'd be awesome.
Maybe.
You know the unit, the tank from Left 4 Dead, how you can run by and like
Never mind,
slap
there's no
cars
ledge.
out of the way.
There's no ledge.
I'd just be running around
Right.
slapping tanks over people.
That'd be
See,
Or
pretty
just
good.
stomp them.
I would be
Change my
pretty
mind.
goddamn
Goodbye.
excited for like a Battlefield with over the top everything. You know, you've Battlefield with
Where you
parkour and
I'm gonna land on you.
super awesome Titans and super awesome jets, and it would basically be like 2142 but on crack.
2142.
You know,
See,
I would love it.
2142 really started the whole futuristic big combat system. You know what I always said was the biggest problem with Titanfall? The Titans. The Titans, I always wanted a mode of that game where it was pilots only, no Titans, that awesome parkour system, the awesome futuristic weapons. That would have been cool.
but the Titans
even
are the
if I
best
can't-
part.
Player
But here's the thing: even if I can't get
in the
that,
name.
I'll be okay if they included a bunch of different vehicles where people who didn't have Titans could have a way of fighting the Titans aside from their little dinky weapons that they had, where you could like
called
rodeo
Ride the
up
Titan,
on them
rodeo.
and pull out their big controller thing and fucking shoot the insides. I was like,
Oh, the anti-Titan weapons are pretty strong. Like the rocket
Yeah.
launcher that you can lock on. I mean, it does like
Rockets are amazing.
half the shield damage, or like 3/4 of shield damage.
but Phyrus,
You
that
can-
was the
idea.
problem. The weapons were so powerful, but the thing is, you're supposed to be an infantry unit. You're supposed to be scared of these Titans. I'd prefer
No,
it if instead of
no, you don't
No,
give
no,
a
no,
fuck.
no.
Just run up there and be like,
no,
look,
no, gosh, that's the problem. You
Look,
gotta
look,
give a
look.
fuck. You are a lone soldier, man. And if you see a giant fucking Goliath piece of metal coming
Look,
at
look,
you,
how much
you
do you want? I
better
might
be
go out.
fearing.
If you
I
think
might
the
go
grunts
out
are going to help
and
you, you're
motherfucking
wrong.
take you with me.
Ouch. You get hit in the face
What
with
I'm
a
saying is,
turn.
I would like it if instead of just having a portable weapon you can carry around wherever you want to kill a Titan, how about instead you give me a static thing, like as you were saying before, a
spear.
tank that could be knocked over by a Titan, but also
Sort of
has the
stationary
ability.
turret.
Exactly, a legendary
Everybody's dead
turret. And if they're not paying attention to that
I
turret
helped-
zone,
I helped
somebody
kill
gets
them.
on that shit and kills you because you were a Titan
No, no, no,
who
no,
wasn't
no,
paying
rocks.
attention,
No,
as opposed to
okay,
a Titan
I'm
who was just near a dude who
Keep
happens
it.
to have an anti-Titan weapon because they all have one. You see what I'm saying?
Oh,
You get a
and-
trident.
What about
Totally
like particle
reloading.
beams? Call in like a particle beam strike on it, you know?
There you go.
So-
You gotta like
Remember-
stay in one position so you
Alright,
can call down an
Titanfall
orbital
devs,
strike
take
on a
note
Titan.
of what's going on here. Take notes.
But there's so many things you could do with
There
that
you go,
game, though. There's so many directions they could take it in, and I think that no
There
matter
is.
which way they take
That's
it,
falling, please.
as long as
They
they
can only add
expand
to it.
on the game and they
Right.
add to it and keep the old modes still there, it's just gonna turn out really well for them. And like, just by having a previous game out and having established the game Titanfall, their next sales are going to be that much higher from people that already like Titanfall and people that want to
Oh,
check it out.
Yeah.
Got my
See,
money.
here's the
Well,
thing: the sequel is going to be big
watching
for
it
them
fall on
because
my
their
face.
biggest problem with Titanfall was
I'm really
they
good at
lost
falling to my death.
attention.
I gotta
Like
say.
everybody just stopped playing. But like you said, everybody who loved Titanfall 1 is going to flock to this game. Everybody else is going to flock to that game, which means
there.
Titanfall 2 is going to have a built-in audience in addition to a new audience coming in. It's going to be huge,
Yeah, that's
provided
totally
they
what
do
it
it right and they can maintain stick-to-itism. They can
Quartermaster,
maintain retention.
Yeah. Actually, it's kind of funny. Back in the day, it's,
Atari days?
yeah, well, no, not Atari, but like NES and
Genesis.
Genesis and all that. They used to release games with just 2 on them, like blank game number 2, without even having a previous game. And the reason why they would do that is because it's been proven and been shown that games sequels to series sell better than the original. So they would release a sequel to a game that was never made to increase sales. And it worked. It was funny. It actually worked. People don't do that nowadays because we have the internet and they would get, flogged in the streets. But,
Well,
yeah.
the Nintendo model was not to put a 2. The Nintendo model was to put the word "super" in front of the word.
It worked. Hey, it was awesome.
every
It
time
works.
it was like we released Bomberman last year. What
It's like,
will we
fuck
call the next
Bomberman,
one?
I got
But it's
Bomberman,
Super
Super
Bomberman.
Is that why Zelda 2 did so bad? Because they put a 2 at the end of it instead of Super
It
Zelda?
should have been Super Zelda.
Super Zelda. Zelda
Some
the
strap
Link
on a
Past is
cape.
probably one of the best ones, though. But I have to say this, though. Funny little story. You don't want to know how I got a Super Nintendo? Here's how I got one. Complete, derailed of conversation.
Were you super?
Yeah, because I was super. Actually, I was super. Thanks for asking. Like it was my birthday or Christmas or something. My brother got me a new game, and I can't think of the game. It was like a video. It was like a car game, and I open it and I'm like, this is so cool. And I like go to shove it in the Nintendo, and it doesn't fucking fit. So I had to get a Super Nintendo. Eventually, I got it. I don't remember the name of the car game, but it was so awesome. You could make your own little tracks and stuff. It was actually pretty cool for its day. Anyway, side note.
That was
Story
the first
time with
time in
Norgoz.
Gaz's life where he tried to shove it in and it didn't fit.
The first
started
time
early.
of many times.
Started early.
Good one. Good
Okay,
one.
speaking
I
of getting
love you guys.
raped, let's move on to the next topic.
Whoa!
Oh.
The safe word is space bar. The safe word is space bar. Surprise sex is okay.
Oh.
Trigger warning.
All right.
Oh, wait.
Questions have been raised over the standard of Sony's customer service after it was discovered that the victim of a PlayStation 4 hack was not fully refunded $600 that was stolen from him. Basically what happened was a Reddit user going by the name of KageUta explained that he awoke Wednesday morning with a series of emails alerts stating that about $600 of content had been purchased through his account. He also discovered that his PlayStation 4 has been deactivated from the PlayStation Network,
That's awesome.
and another system of which the location is unknown. Essentially what happened was he was hacked. Then
I don't
somebody
kill
bought
mine-
$600 worth
yeah,
of shit. He
mindlessly. I
contacted
have my
Sony,
reasons.
and then Sony will only refund $150 of the $600 that was taken. The money will only be PSN credit and not be refunded back to his bank. The user escalates that the payment, or if the user escalates the payment dispute with his bank, his account will be banned. If his account is banned, his purchased license for games and such as The Last of Us Remastered will be wiped, and if the licenses are wiped, there is no way of restoring them.
I have so
Yeah.
much to say about this.
I was
Wait.
talking to Norgoz about this
Yeah.
earlier, and we were talking about the logistics of why they handled it like that, and I think that they were just trying to cover themselves, about that, because you can't just let somebody circumvent your own inside process and be like, I'm going to dispute this with my bank instead of letting you handle this, and then in that case, if he were to do that and just circumvent them entirely, then they don't have any obligation to keep his account on their network. When you sign up for PSN and stuff like that, you are realizing that you're using their services, and if you violate what they want you to do, then they have every right to end that service. But apparently this had developed even further past that, and Norgoz looked into it, so I'll let him talk about that.
Yeah, there's so much in this article. It's not just the news article itself. He posted on Reddit, and he also posted, I don't know where where is this? Hang on, I got a picture here. There's a JPEG that he included, that's included with the actual article itself. I don't know where this JPEG came from, or not JPEG, but PNG, of his actual conversation with Sony. And basically, the end all of it, there is an update, and the final update was that, and it doesn't specify whether he got his money back or not. That's what I'm confused about. He says, this is a direct quote from the Reddit post. It says, after contacting Unicorn Legal today, a member of Sony's legal team, my account was unblocked. Sony did the right thing in the end to have responded promptly. Thank you for all your support during this turbulent situation, and thank you, Sony, for doing the right thing. Now, you guys may have mentioned it, and I might have missed it. Because whenever you change your primary console, you can't change it again for 6 months. So he was fucked for 6 months, basically, had this not kind of gone through. So they unblocked his PlayStation. He can use his games. It's not clarified whether or not he got his money back, but good for him for really pushing it kind of on the legal front a little bit, because I work at a corporation, I work for a bank, I know how the disputes work, and he posted his little conversation, but all long and short of it is, like, I understand the inside investigation. I fully understand that, but as a consumer, you do have full rights to dispute something with your bank, and I think I keep thinking there must be something that's being missed or not being, conveyed to us as readers, listeners, whoever, whatever you want to consider us as in this case, that there must be a little detail that he's not including that would have Sony take this stance, because whether or not you have the money as a corporation does not supersede the fact that you can do your own investigation, and at that point you can push it back to the bank and say, no, this is legitimate, this is why you cannot charge this back to us as a merchant. That is something that can be done. Whenever a bank disputes it, would they reach out to the actual merchant and say, okay, you need to tell us why is this legitimate. And if they investigate it and they go back and they say, all right, look, this is legitimate, this is why, the bank can charge, can say, okay, here's your money, and that's it. into dispute. You know, that it's not. It's a whole process that they go through. So, all in all, though, I mean, it worked out in his favor. But I have no idea if he got the money back or not. It doesn't say.
Well, I think that they, as Sony, they could have done a better job of conveying to him the exact reasons, like why the consequences would happen, instead of just being harsh and cold about it. He could have been like, "Hey, we want to check this out" or whatever. But the way that he makes it seem is like they were just like, "No, screw you, and if you take this up with your bank, screw you even more." You know, so I think that they could have handled that a lot better. Yeah.
You know what's weird is actually I side with Sony on this one because like Sony has more information on it than anyone else does. They have information of what the IP was when the purchase took place and all that stuff. I would think yeah, exactly, guys. They have more information on this than we do. Why would we just assume that they're trying to screw this guy over? I would assume that guy is just trying to use the public as a kind of intermediary to say, hey, the public sides with me on this.
I can talk to that.
What's that?
I can talk to that.
Right?
His picture of his conversation with, and of course, you know, realistically, you can manipulate this, but it looks like it's a direct screenshot of the chat that he had. He just wanted to reverse all the transactions. He didn't want the games. He wanted everything reversed. So he technically wouldn't get to keep the games. I see where you guys are coming from with that, and I can see where that could be a concern of Sony's or any corporation. I fully do, but when he specifically says, I just want to reverse all transactions, it's already from a different location. It's already from a different primary account. Now, it doesn't say in this chat or in Reddit where this new location is, so that is one detail that maybe, you know, we're not seeing. Why is it, you know, that
But it's an
Sony
important detail.
It is an important detail. I completely agree. So maybe that changes the dynamic a lot. Maybe it's just down the street. If it is, then fuck that guy. You know.
Right.
So
well, another thing to think about is did this happen because of a flaw in Sony's system, or did it happen because of something that he did, or if he logged in through some kind of like a trap website or whatever, and he screwed himself over? If he screwed himself over,
advocate, or if he planned all this and he's just kind of, you know, trying to get as much as he can out of him through the recent Sony hack.
Right. But if that were to happen and it's on his end, then they don't owe him anything. That's not their fault that this happened to him, you know? I mean, you could still go back and dispute it with your bank and dispute it through Sony and get it all reversed, but they don't, as a company, owe him that because he's the one who messed up, you know?
Yeah. Now, as you mentioned, though, it could just be that, like, he wants a reverse, so it should all be good. But the thing is, with video games, once you've played a video game, how often do you come back to them? I mean, he might have already gotten his fun out of all of this.
And that's a lot of money, though.
It happened overnight.
I get that.
I mean, he's not going to play through $600 worth of content.
Right, that's what I was going to say.
In
exactly.
6 hours.
He'll have played what he wanted to know what he actually might want to buy. Again, devil's advocate here, but I'm just saying, you know, it's entirely possible he could get the idea of the games he wanted based off of his little $600 play session.
I think that's far-fetched in this scenario. I mean, if it was a smaller purchase, I mean, if it was like 2 or 3 games and then he said, I didn't buy this, and then went back on it, I would understand if they decided not to refund him. But with this obvious overtake of his account, even switching it to another system that's not his, it's an obvious case of a breach of his security, a breach of his password, a breach of his account. So with this type of breach, as long as he catches it early, and which he did, and he reported it as soon as he found out, I don't see a reason for them to stick hard with their rules with you know, stopping the relocation of his account back to his master system with a 6-month period. I mean, that's retarded. That's bullshit. In fact, I don't even know why that rule is in there. It's why you can't
dispute.
Why you can't link your account to a different PS4 within 6 months after switching. I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, what happens if you get a defective system and you have to send it back? You know, are you going to get a new PlayStation in the mail from a refurbish and not be able to link your account back to the new the new PS4. I mean, that's a weird situation in the first place.
See, I'm not quite sure how that works because I've sent in my PlayStation. I sent it in after I made my first PlayStation my primary.
The sarcasm hurts, Paul.
And they sent me a new one, and I made the new one my primary, and there was no issues then. So I'm not.
Well,
I don't know.
It's after that, after the fact, going back to a different one after the fact. That's what it.
But it was all
what it
within
is
like
here.
the first month or two of release.
Oh no.
so-
That's what I'm saying is that you can do that. You can change to a new one, but as soon as you change to a new one after you register number 1, and then you say, okay, I want number 2 to be my primary. After that, you have to wait 6 months to register number 1 again if you want to. It's assuming you have both of them. So
like
in your
if
scenario, it shouldn't. Yeah, it wouldn't hurt you.
Like if you got one PlayStation, then it broke or whatever, and then you bought another refurbished one, you linked your account to it, then you found out later that it doesn't read discs, then you wouldn't be able to transfer it to another one for another 6 months.
Yeah, it's
That's
a
a
weird.
long time. That's
Yeah.
as long as PayPal allows chargebacks, which is bullshit within itself. But I digress.
Here we go back to that. But so I don't see a problem with them just scrubbing these charges off the account and removing that content. Without having to ban his account and let him and losing all the digital content that he already has tagged to that account. It doesn't make any sense to me. I think they need to be able to take these on a case-by-case basis. Granted, that takes more time and it takes more manpower to look at these on a case-by-case basis, but I think by taking the broad strokes that they have in place right now is not an appropriate way to handle this.
Yeah, I can
Sorry.
agree with that.
What was that about? Never mind.
I would say, with regards to that, and with this whole situation, I think it all happened really fast, and they might not have had the time to process it, to evaluate it as well as they could have, because it became such a big thing. I think the initial $150 back is just their flat rate, like kind of like if you're at like a grocery store and you raise up fluff, they got like $10 or something that they can give you just flat. So that's
Kind of
their
what
initial.
they're insured to, yeah.
Right. So I think that was just their initial, like, this is what we can give you. Don't dispute it, and we'll look into it. And they didn't convey that to him very well. Is what it seems like to me, anyway.
When I sit here and I think about it, that's probably, yeah. Because again, I've worked for a bank for years, and if you dispute something on your credit card, every credit card is going to be different. It could take, you might give it a blanket, up to 45 days as an example as a dispute period with your credit card. If you dispute it with, an outside party, like if it's a payment as an example, it's something that, it just everything depends, and it's all about how you convey stuff. You're right, communication is key, and if you just say, hey, look, we're going to look into it, this is the time frame, this is what we're looking for, and then if we find it legitimate, we'll give you the rest of it. This is what we can do now. I think it probably would have gone a completely different direction. I do agree with Damien on that front, that communication was completely horrible. In the article, I'm just looking at it, and it's just very basic. The guy says, what Damien said about the whole keylogger thing. Well, you just got to be careful where you log in at, what you log in at. As I'm processing the request, as a very detailed investigation will be done to know what happened. That's a direct quote. He is not given a time frame. He's not saying anything about are you going to be reimbursed or refunded. He does say, if approved, let's see. He does, do I get a confirmation number of the refund request? If approved, the time taken for it to arrive depends entirely on your bank, so I cannot provide an estimate. So he doesn't directly say, yes, we're going to give your money back. I mean, you can kind of read between the lines, but he never gives a time. He's never given a time frame as a customer. It's going to take us 10 days, 20 days. It's going to take us 40 days and 40 nights. We're going to get old school with this shit. You know what I'm saying? So
Big Old Testament with the shit.
They obviously did a poor job of communication, and maybe that's a matter of that's a training opportunity for this person. I mean, as a business individual, I know that's a training opportunity for this person. Typically, with many customers, though, maybe it might not have been important. For this individual issue, that you as an agent, you need to be able to recognize these type of things and say, oh, shit, this is a big fucking deal. I better tell him, okay, that's $600. We understand that's a lot of money. We're going to give you $150. This is how long it's going to take. Bear with us, and we'll work with you. That's it. That's all he had to say. That didn't get said. Guy's pissed off. I completely get it. I'd have been pissed off as a consumer, too. I'm currently working with, as many of you know, I'm currently working with the, quote, corporate office of my ISP because people have been stealing internet from me for months, and they're dicking me around. So I get it. I get it on both fronts, operational standpoint as a business and a consumer standpoint as an actual customer. It feels like you're getting dicked around. I completely get it on both fronts.
Yeah, you get it on both fronts.
Oh, baby.
Right.
Lovingly touched.
Oh, baby, oh, baby, oh, baby.
Touched.
The loving touch.
Well, you want to know what's dumber than that?
Just a guess.
What?
How about a police officer saying, I get paid to beat up N-word like you? Now, let me clarify.
Wow,
Oh man.
Let me clarify.
No.
please.
Oh my!
Put it in the
Please,
context.
An
as specific as
officer-
you can be.
An officer was playing Xbox
Crying
One,
babies on me?
and he was being trolled in a game lobby in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. So after the game ended, he sent the people that were trolling him a message, basically just telling them, "Hey, you guys aren't as good as you think you are. You guys suck ass, whatnot." So the person
What the
that
heck is with
received
the
that message
crying baby zombie?
then sent him a chat.
And I couldn't see the explodey dude. I'm gonna lose a lot of points now.
a chat invite, a voice chat invite.
God, what?
And he
What
started
else does this
recording
game
the
have
entire
in store?
conversation. And during the entire conversation, the only thing that the dude was doing, and you can tell that these are very ghetto-ass people, the only thing that the young kid is doing is trolling him. He's just talking shit about how he's going to shoot him and just going off. And then the cop actually gives him his address and says, bring it. I dare you. Come try and shoot me. So then they keep on going further, telling him that they're gonna kill him and they're gonna shoot up his house and break down his door and blah blah blah. They're just going on and on. And finally, the cop said, I'm a cop. I get paid to beat up, the N-word."
You want me to say it?
Like, no, we're not saying that. Not on the goddamn podcast, okay?
Nikes?
I get paid to beat up Nikes like you.
I beat the hell out of Nikes.
And
I prefer Reebok.
Too far.
and then
Fuck Reebok.
they freaked out, and then it
again.
went further into it, and they just started going off on him. And he was just, for the rest of it was kind of funny because he kind of just sat there, just like, there's not much more I can say about this. So they pretty much just yelled at him, and he would chime in every second or two. And then at the end of the video, end of the recording, they told him that they had
That's terrifying. really
recorded
wanna
the
deal with
entire
that again.
conversation, and he just dropped out like that.
I have nightmares.
But because he gave his address, his name, and his badge number, they
long
put
as there's no
this
zombie
video up
dogs.
online, and his his work got a hold of it, and they fired him. So you fired for
Yay!
stupidity,
Good
but
move.
at the same time, it was one of those things where, like, I don't know, I don't necessarily blame the cop for getting into it in the heat of the moment, because I do shit like that all the time. But
Wait.
You
You
feel
said
your
the word
racism in
Nikes?
the heat of the moment?
I will.
I'll
I'll be honest.
When you put it into context, a lot of times when racism is a big hot button topic in North America. But the thing is that yes, there are a lot of situations where somebody will use racial slurs just to get under your skin,
bet there's gonna be
not
more
because they're
screaming
racist,
babies.
not
Yeah,
because they like
it's
saying that, they
kinda
don't
like
even
I
support it
don't
in any
know.
way,
Just know that
but just
it
because they
screams
want
into
to
my
get
face,
under your
it destroys
skin
my
more
vision.
than they're getting more than they're getting under your skin, or killing gnats like I just did right there. Yes, I can.
Yes.
That I'm not approving of it. I'm not saying it's okay, but I can understand. I can understand.
Okay, but what kind of idiot do you gotta be to give out your badge number and your address
Oh,
while
moron.
also being racist and just man, that's just
ridiculously confident with their ability to not get in trouble.
Let's rate this.
Let's
like just that would be like
he has some kind of ego, like I am untouchable. I am the law.
You know how awesome I am? Because I'm awesome.
Yes.
like that would be like any one of us going like, this is where I work. Come fight me in the parking lot, you know? That's just
Which people do that.
That's just dumb.
A lot of people do that.
Who does that?
I've got to like.
I don't play
fist fight
consoles,
over
so I
stream.
don't get exposed to that.
Oh my goodness.
Reason number 2 why I play on PC.
That's true. That there are that typically there are less shit talkers and on PC, because who plays consoles? You know, a ton, and that's typically children. Because on a console, you just have a console. Yes, you can go to the internet, and yes, you can go to look at boobies and stuff like that. But typically speaking,
Crap, I forgot how to
most
spell
of the
that.
time it's games and games only,
Exactly.
and that's it. And there are a bunch of 12-year-olds that are like, yeah, fuck you, man. No, fuck you. No, I'll fuck your mother. No, I already fucked your mother.
It's funny. Everybody always says that, but I literally only get a kid 1 in every 10 games.
I mean, I'm a PC player, so
get a
I just
kid.
don't
What do you-
talk to anybody ever. And if I'm playing TF2 and I hear a kid's voice, I just try to assume it's a woman and imagine
Not
they've
too
realized
shabby.
that the PC is the way to go. So my world is a happy world.
I was a
Get a
when I was a
kid
kid, I was a
like that,
PC
promise.
player, but I never talk shit like that. I mean, it's just
With a game,
Right? Like, I don't hear that shit too often on PC, and if I do, I just tend to, troll them back. It's just funnier that way.
yeah. They'll be like, they'll say something, and you'll ask them for clarification. I'm sorry, what do you mean exactly? What is this? That's how I will troll them back. Like, no, I need you to clarify. What are you talking about?
Yes,
No,
what do
I
you mean
still
by
don't understand.
It's like, oh no, not fuck not fuck your mother. It means I'd like to fuck your mother because she's such a beautiful person. It's like, oh, okay.
Sure. Inside, Highsight.
She needs.
I fucked your mother, Trebek. Suck it, Trebek.
Oh,
Shocker. I'll take the
I must
rapist
ask
for
you.
300.
The pen is mightier, Mr. Connery.
What's the difference between you and a mallet with a cold? One's a sick duck, and I don't remember how the rest of the joke goes. But your mother's a whore.
Spacebar, totally space. Joke is totally space.
That's
We
cool.
spacebarred the fuck out of this topic.
Yep.
So, moral of the story is, if you're going to rage, don't give out your badge number. Don't give out your home address. Because you might be recorded and you're going to lose your damn job.
There's no one to blame but himself. He was
Oh,
just like,
exactly.
hey, you're not gonna
Boom.
report me or shit. So here's my badge number. Here's my name. Here's my address. Suck it.
Some people.
Yeah. People aren't very bright, but... But, to be fair, go ahead and listen to the audio of that fucking video for a second and tell me that you wouldn't say anything along the same lines. Because the entire time that I was listening to that video, the only thing that I wanted to do was go hit somebody. Go hit the people that were talking in that video. It was ridiculous. It was bad. Man, I can't wait till I get the laser beams with this character.
I love you. We have audio problems. I'm sorry. I must interrupt. We'll have a fucked up SoundCloud later.
You want some
Pretty sure I know how to
popsicles?
use the
popsicles, you little shitball. Come over to my van.
Two is a buff, one is
Get your
a
fat ass back here.
bolt. Or not a bolt, but just a blast I can
Totally
hit somebody
spaceball the
with.
fuck out of you, young man.
God damn it.
Mmm.
I'm not that unique.
Spaceball's in my pocket.
I just want you to know that when you posted the link in that
Man,
chat, I
I
almost
fucking
went to
thought my
ban it.
character looked like a hipster.
That was
I know.
definitely the least visual appealing, I think.
Video version. Don't talk about it.
That's
Alright.
why I mentioned in the chat.
But if you go kinetic or
I know,
necromancer,
but you're
We're
talking about it.
Still talking
Jesus.
about it. Come on, man.
Kinetic.
Come on,
Calm your
Nakiato.
tits. Calm them. All right. I'm going on to the next topic, by the way.
There is no chat.
Sony has announced that it will
You're
no
pretty much
longer
the Force
support
Unleashed.
the Android side of PlayStation Mobile.
That
Or
does sound pretty badass.
Or pretty much anything that is going to be below version Android 4.4.2 or above version 4.4.3 is no longer going to have support for PlayStation Mobile. It's also not going to be PlayStation certified because PlayStation is dropping.
You don't know about the game
for making
what do
mobile
you like,
phones
or
in
what
the
don't
first
you
place.
like, Kel?
And then also trying to focus on making
My only
PlayStation
gripe so
versions,
far
or
just like the
PlayStation
voice
games
acting,
on mobile
which
devices.
that's going to be.
And the reason for this is
Oh,
because,
lag.
like I said,
Oh,
they're
the
dropping
lag.
support
Ah,
for
the lag.
making phones.
Oh, no.
They're getting completely out of that market, and this is
which the
a
voice
step
acting
further
isn't
getting out of
finalized.
that
That's
market.
going to be
And it's unfortunate because it
finished
just,
later.
in my opinion, it's a step away
I actually
from
really
where I
enjoy
wanted to
the
see them go in
the
the
options
first place.
for like character customization,
Releasing
and
on
shit.
mobile and trying to
then
find
later
some
on you're going to
possible
be
way
able
to
to
do any
choose
kind of
your,
interaction with
or
PC.
buy
Those are all
outfits
features that
and
I would
things along
I
those
would
lines.
greatly like to
Now,
see
normal
further
MMO
implemented,
players,
and
they're
this
going
is
to
like
be
a
sad
step
because
back.
they won't be able to
Your guys'
upgrade gear and then notice
Just
that
sounds
there's
like it's the
upgraded gear on their
the
character.
second
That's
prong
not
of
how
them
this works.
shutting
You
down
wear
their
costumes,
mobile
basically. So it's kind of
side
like
and
a
stuff, and I think it's
DCUO
just
in that
it
regard.
was gonna happen
Or
because they don't. Why would they keep the
or
Android support
using
other than
costumes in Guild Wars
bridging the
2,
gap
for
and stuff like
example.
that? I gotta wonder if Square Enix went through them to do their ports,
Almost
or
done.
if
Just gotta
Square
get
Enix
one
does their
more
own
thing, and then I
ports.
can leave
I'm
this
not sure
area.
on that.
I think it's just a continuation of what we're seeing from Sony. I think they
yeah, because you're in the.
they realize where their strength is at this point,
main
which
hub.
is with the PS4, with their consoles essentially, and they're trying to dial back
And you're gonna be
failing
there for a little
sectors
bit.
right now. I saw another graphic that
Once
they're
you do like, I think you have to do,
looking
like,
at their
3
different
dungeons,
pieces of
and then,
business.
and then you
Their
start
most
going
of
to
their
more
different
open
prongs were
areas
profitable,
that
except for
you'll
the
be at
mobile
for a
division,
while,
which
and those are much
was
less crowded.
horribly in the red.
Love Xbox
So
One games.
I'm not surprised
well,
it's paring back,
And I'm about
clipping
to
the
finish
wings
mine,
essentially
so-
of some of these things.
It happens
Also,
after
with
that.
this Sony PlayStation Mobile that they're dropping, it was
I mean, technically,
also a
Cal, this game was created with
they
controllers
had a store
in mind.
for indie developers
could-
to put their games out on this system, so kind of like a green light kind of deal. So it's unfortunate that that's another market that the indie developers are losing out on. But I see this it's just as a continuing trend for Sony, but it's not essentially a bad trend. They're sticking their fingers in a bunch of other different pies with their PlayStation Now, their streaming service with that, and obviously they're doing well with the PS4, so they can afford to poke their fingers in a bunch of different pies.
Well, I think it's a damn shame, personally, because I thought the market had potential. I mean, let's put it this way. Sony made some very, very cool Android devices, and it's really kind of a shame to me to see that they're just trying to shut down the whole division. They had waterproof phones. Who here knows of any other waterproof phones in the industry? Anybody? That's what I thought. The silence says it all. So to me, it's a damn shame. I don't know. I just find it really disappointing that they're just shutting down the whole division. I think that it has potential. It's just that they never really marketed it much. Aside from the foreign market, they never marketed it much in the USA. I mean, Sony phones weren't a huge thing in the USA, but they were big over in Asia and other markets. So I just think it's a waste. I think if they marketed more in the United States, it would have been a lot bigger, especially the whole waterproof feature.
Well, I mean, look at the different phones. I mean, right now you've got basically Apple and you've got Android as far as your phones. And then you've got the Windows phones. Does anybody know a person with a Windows phone?
Actually, I do, surprisingly. One of my coworkers has one.
Okay, why does he have a Windows phone?
Because the screen is fucking huge. No
Actually, I
joke.
think that's his reason too. Is he just likes the giant phone?
Yep, that's really it. It's like people love big phones for some reason. I don't get it.
But you want
a tablet.
Big phones and I cannot lie. You
This
other
one's on the
service can't
tablet.
deny.
Apparently,
and recent platforms though. I mean, like the new Galaxies have big screens, and the new iPhones have big screens too. Did they have it because those weren't available at the time, and that was just the biggest they could get? Probably. I mean, other than that, I mean, why would you buy a Windows phone? I mean,
the other big thing is the camera. The cameras are very good on those phones because what's it called? Who does the cameras for those phones? I know they're called like the Lumia or something, but they have some kind of very high-powered camera behind a lot of them.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess if you're buying a phone for a camera, then you deserve the Windows phone.
You'd be shocked how many people buy the phone. You'd be shocked how many people buy phones just for the camera, and they deserve exactly what they get out of it, which is a shitty phone.
So you can take your selfies better, right?
Exactly. Well,
Man, some people
I
find
mean,
that
you'd have
very
to like
important.
turn the phone around, but yeah.
You go out and buy the selfie stick and everything.
Oh
Yeah.
God, why does that exist?
So you can
take
get
good
group photos. No, okay, so actually, I'm actually surprised I don't see them more at conventions because there were a lot of people. Last year was the first year that it's common. I actually get a lot of photos taken of me and my girlfriend when we're at the convention, and a lot of people were taking selfies with us rather than just taking pictures, like having a friend take a photo for them. And that's the weirdest thing, trying to fit everybody into a little frame. It's terrible. Selfies.
Going back for a second, they were ahead a bit with the Sony waterproof phone thing. They were ahead a little bit, but I mean, they got the new Samsung, the Galaxy S. What number are they on? I'm pretty sure
I mean, they're coming out with the 6 soon, but 5.
Galaxy's 5, then the Note's still 4 until the winter. That's when they release the Note, so it'll be 5 soon.
Yeah, my girlfriend I think has a 5, and that one's waterproof. And like some of their construction phones, like Kyocera or whatever, which nobody uses unless you're like a mechanic or whatever, those are waterproof. But they did have a lot of innovation that was really good. So.
So going back to the selfie stick, I saw a funny comic the other day. It had two stick figures. And the one guy's like, "What the hell is that?" And I was like, "That's my selfie stick." He goes, "Well, can I see it and see if it works?" He's like, "Sure." He grabs the selfie stick and he beats the crap out of the other guy. He goes, "Yeah, it works pretty well." He walks away.
Pretty much how I feel about them. So, back to the PlayStation Mobile stuff. Did we address that they're no longer going to be supporting, like, you can't even re-download the games?
Yeah, that's really crappy. I mean, even Steam, I'm sure everybody knows Steam, but Steam has they've always had this mentality that if anything ever went wrong with their service and they had to shut down for some reason, they would offer everybody who ever had any kind of download available through them the ability to get that game on a CD version. They have talked about that repeatedly. If anything ever went wrong with their service, you can request a CD of any game that you can get through them from them, and they will give it to you. And the fact that Sony has no backup plan for this, and they're just canceling it flat out, that kind of enrages me.
It's really interesting. Yeah, like you said, most companies offer some sort of back-end support for users that bought the product to be able to just go, "Oh, sorry, sucks to be you. Thanks for the money."
It seems strange, that they can't bundle that in with obviously the PSN. I mean, there's got to be a way to tag that through PSN because PSN's not going away. I mean, there needs to be a way that they can access those things.
Make an app that ties into it. I don't
Yeah,
see why they wouldn't.
Well, if they
Makes
can't
sense.
guarantee support with new updates and stuff like that, then they probably don't want you to be able to download it and then have it not work.
Well, I think that they might have some type of market that they could tap into if they just moved all of their mobile applications or games to the PlayStation Network. Why wouldn't they? I mean, think about it. If you're presenting a product to clients that are still buying stuff, just move them to the PlayStation Network. You're already taking away from the mobile market, your TV market, to focus more on PlayStation and the PlayStation Network. I mean, you've got the movies, you've got the DVD, not the DVDs, but you get the movies, the music, all that's in PSN. It just makes sense to me that you're going to move your applications and whatever games that you have on Android and the Google Play Store just to move the support to PSN. Now, I don't know how you would tie that in, but it'd be a little bit of a process to transition. But once you got that in, I would imagine that you're still going to be making profit off of whatever apps and games that you have to provide. It just makes sense to me.
But I think what they're saying is, Android runs on a updated system. And if you've got an updated Android, you don't necessarily have backwards compatibility for a game that's designed on an older version of Android. So without having an updated library with programs that are updated to the current system, which they're not going to support, then it's going to be hard to be able to port back unless they had some kind of instanced virtual player, essentially a virtual box that you can download that will allow you to play on a older version of Android, so that you retain playability of all those back libraries that you may have gotten. But that's the only way I can see them doing it.
It's probably just not cost effective for them to actively update. Updating like a VirtualBox kind of virtual machine setting to run on your Android to run those games. It probably wouldn't be so cost effective to do that.
Right.
I just don't see. I feel like they should find some sort of solution, or move the deadline, a year out or something. Give everybody a chance to grab what they can, and then offer the installation files out or something on a server so people can grab them in the future.
Maybe
even if it doesn't work, they're on their own.
Yeah, maybe do the install thing or something where they can have access to stuff. But I don't think you should push the deadline. As long as you're pushing the deadline as far as to the public and they understand it and they know it, even if they ignore it or they wait to the last minute. Because let's be honest, again, I work in the banking industry. There's deadlines for your payments every month. Everybody waits to the last minute. At least 90% of people, they wait to the last fucking minute. At least the ones that I hear from. You wait to the last minute or you're late.
But didn't they only post this? Didn't they just recently posted this? Oh wait, no, this link is a little older.
They still got till September either way. I mean, even if it was a little bit before, think about if you tell me today I got 2 quarters away to get to.
But in this case, they're not paying a bill though. This is a service that they've already paid for, and that they paid to have access to. They bought a product. I feel that users should be able to access them as long as possible.
Well, yeah,
even if it's not supported. Even if it's not supported, I feel like you should still have access. And if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work.
Well, what I don't get is it doesn't really cost them that much to maintain their service. It's really just a question of having a download server up. So why don't they just restrict people from being able to create a new account, keep the storefront as it is, and allow people to continue to download what they have already without updating anything?
You're right, exactly. But the problem is
it just seems
potential,
like it's
what's the word? Compatibility in the future with future upgraded machines. But I mean, at that point, you're out of luck. We're leaving it as is.
And the thing with Android is it's very compatible with one another. I mean, in the future, a game that was made for Android 2.0 is still going to work for Android 20.0. It's not like Windows. It's very different. It continues to have the same kernel.
Not exactly.
No?
Not exactly. There's a mobile game that I have that, depending on what OS you run, it may have more glitches.
I think that has to do with the developer of that app. I'm sure if it's not an Android developed app, then that would make sense.
Well, it's an Android developed app, but I mean, depending on what version of the OS you have, it might not even work to the point to where I can't even download the new update. It just doesn't connect, and it has nothing to do with anything other than I guess the OS is what they kind of blame it on, but. Some of them are more compatible than others as far as the versions and stuff, and
See, as a fellow Android developer, I'm kind of surprised by that because I've made things for Android, and it should be for the most part fairly forward compatible. That's pretty odd.
I would agree with it, to be honest with you, but that's my experience with that particular game.
I'd say that was a crappy developer, and I would go and pistol whip them.
I gotta imagine that with new updates, they get new ways to handle different files and stuff. Well, not files like core files, but like video and stuff like that. I mean, otherwise, what are you updating with your updates?
Oh, actually, legacy drivers.
Exactly. You keep the thing is, Android keeps a lot of their legacy code intact, so things remain backwards compatible. As technology has evolved, we've gotten more space to store things in. With old Windows stuff, we've kind of had, or rather with new Windows stuff, we've had to get rid of the old stuff in the past because we didn't really have space to hold it all or to process it backwardsly correctly.
But are you going to want to have like a giga... Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I just realized this is Sony we're talking about, along with all the other new-gen consoles. They don't really seem to be supporting, older versions of... What's the word I'm trying to think of?
Backwards compatibility.
Backwards compatibility, thank you.
I'll give you that for the PlayStation games, but the Android stuff, that's all handled by Google mostly through their
but this is owned by... But in this case, this is owned by Sony. This is Sony's deal, and I don't know why they can't just host their stuff via... through like Google Play or something, if that's the case.
Yeah, I'll give you that. It'd be a little tricky to work out the licensing things, but other than that, you are right. They should be able to find a way to just say, hey, this guy bought this on our service. Can we just have it added into your Google Play service? I mean, I think that's more a fail on Sony's part. They could probably negotiate that with Google.
It's just Sony cutting more fat from their business.
Yeah.
Which they seem like they're really making a lot of strides and cutting back on so many things. I mean, it's... Yeah, I don't know. I really hope that they do something positive with it. I mean, if they're going to focus on the gaming industry, I mean, I don't know. I mean, just... You're... Yeah.
Whole thing space barred.
Pterodactyl.
That's not my little one for once.
Nope, that's mine.
Yep.
Alright. Alright, and then one of our final news topics this week. So last week we didn't talk about it, but I guess we should have at least mentioned it. Leonard Nimoy passed away. To anybody that doesn't know, yes, Spock is dead, officially. And he died at the age of 82. 82, yes. There are a few developers that are putting... I don't know, putting
Easter eggs,
special thanks to him in games. For example, Elite Dangerous developers Frontier is adding a Leonard Nimoy station that you can dock in, and then also adding Planet Vulcan to one of the planets that you can go take a look at in game. And then there's a few other ones too, like I can't remember any of it. I know Star Trek Online is doing a tribute to him.
They better.
Right?
Even Barack Obama commented and said, "I love Spock." So, yeah.
All right, I love Spock. If you like your Spock, you can keep your Spock. But he's not alive.
Here we go. Leonard Nimoy tribute in Star Trek. They're just putting a statue of him doing the whole hand symbol sign thing on one of the on a few of the planets apparently. But yeah, sad times.
Sad times.
It looks like Star Citizen's also going to do something. As well as Elite Dangerous, which makes me wonder if Star Citizen's doing it because Elite Dangerous is doing it. They seem to be battling for the same market space.
Yeah. Well, we hope that it's not for marketing purposes and that they're just good human beings, but you never know.
You never. Maybe it's a little bit of both. I'm sure there's at least one person that that has a heart that's only halfway cold that is doing it for for reasons.
Well, shit, the day that Leonard Nimoy died, I saw a post from World of Warcraft, and they had a in-game character that was modeled to look like him doing the V hand symbol thing. I don't know.
I'm willing to bet that they have a lot of NPCs already pre-prepared like that. As morbid as that sounds, I'm willing to bet that World of Warcraft has like NPCs of all the real famous nerd culture characters ready to go. They had Robin Williams out in like a day. Just saying.
I mean that you just manipulate a couple things. You don't doesn't take much to. I mean, once you have a base sculpture
Doesn't hurt
already
to be
there.
prepared.
No, it really doesn't.
Doesn't, but I'm just saying, like,
I'm not saying that they're bad people for that. I'm just
Well, I'm not
saying
saying
they're
either.
prepared, and it's fucked up, but they're prepared. And
well,
They're
you know
prepared
what?
to market to you just in case somebody
Hey.
dies.
How would you feel if you found out
Exactly.
they had you in their game just waiting to be put in when you die?
I'd be pretty
a strange
stoked, but I don't
combination
make
of honored
millions
and
of
weirded
dollars.
out. Because I've never played World of Warcraft, but okay.
I think it'd be kind of honored.
I'd be
But
extremely
of course,
honored.
I'd be dead, so it's not like I would know.
I'd be
dishonored.
honored on the inside, which
I'd be
would be a
honored
cold dead
beforehand.
corpse, but still the inside.
You'd be space barred on the inside.
I'd be very spacebarred on the inside. I'd be dead. That's like the equivalent of the most spacebarred you could get.
I think my favorite Facebook post I saw after Leonard Nimoy's death was a drawing of 5 rocks, and there's a rock, paper, a scissor, and a lizard, and they're all like crying, looking at an empty rock. That's a Big Bang Theory quote. It was pretty funny.
Phyrus, I'm
Very-
going to go over there and like bash your brains in for knowing anything about Big Bang Theory because fuck that show. But aside from that, it's a
this
horrible show.
It's-
We all know this.
It's not that bad, actually. I kind of enjoy it.
Love this show.
Oh my god, what am I doing here? I am with the wrong people. Guys, help me here. Guys, you know it's a horrible show, right?
I think
Say words.
I think it's a horrible show, so I'm with you.
Thank
I
you,
don't think
Dave.
they have they have their moments, but it's not one that I would watch consistently.
Well, personally,
I'll take-
for me, it feels like they make fun of like geek nerd culture rather than being funny with geek nerd culture. You know, I don't know.
Exactly. It's okay. I've used this term before.
It's moved that way. At the beginning, it was not. It was more inside nerd joke in the beginning seasons. It has moved on since it's become popular and like the best show on that channel, on that network. That it's become more mainstream, and I think Penny shouldn't have cut her hair. But anyway,
I've said it before, and people always misinterpret what I'm saying when I say this. But try to understand what I'm saying here when I say that Big Bang Theory is nerd blackface. Does anyone understand what I mean when I say that without thinking that I'm being racist in any way?
yes, it is in a way, but it's also Asperger's blackface.
Well, okay, I'll give you that too. It totally is.
But-
Fucking Sheldon, poor guy.
But I mean, they're characters, and I enjoy the show for what it is. They've branched off of the main characters quite a bit. They've got the comic book store guy now who is kind of dating his mother, which is kind of weird. But now she died in real life, so she's gone in the show too. But the main characters I think are still very enjoyable. I still enjoy the show, and I will continue watching it, regardless of what you think, Highsight.
You know what? You're welcome to your opinion. I just think it is demeaning towards me.
Well-
no, it's really not.
To let you guys know where I'm coming from, I watch Bridezillas, so I mean I'm a horrible person anyway.
Just get out of here.
It's a horrible person anyway. Okay.
I love Bridezilla.
All right, and the podcast is
About
over. Thank you for coming,
geek
people.
Bridezillas. Jeez, what? Are you gonna watch 16 and Pregnant next? Oh crap! Don't tell me.
Totally.
Oh, shit!
No, Bridezillas is so good though.
I'm not
it's
gonna
so
lie.
good.
I have looked up some pictures of some of those ladies after the fact.
I should've
after
run
they became
context.
18, after they became 18
Whoa!
and turned into porn stars. But yeah, there's one of them that did that. If you didn't know.
I did not know.
I heard
I'm
one
not
of them.
surprised, but I did not know.
Yep.
One of them went off and made like a music single, and it was just the most awful music single I have ever heard.
Are we talking about Rebecca
Know
Black
this.
Friday?
Where did you get this information?
No, no.
I'm just saying, that's probably one of the most worst music singles I ever think of, and I see each and every one of you fuckers trying not to laugh.
We as a society are detrimentally decreased by that single. I just want you all to know that. We as a society are ruined more so by that single existing.
Can I get a short clip from that video really quickly? The lyrics are like this.
Yesterday was Thursday. Today is Friday. Tomorrow's Saturday. But wait, today it's Friday. It's time to party. Hey, I know the days of the week. Yay!
It's Friday. Gotta get down on Friday.
Tear my fucking eyes out with that song, man.
So we've got that song, so to let us know what the days of the week are, but we'd all be lost if we didn't have Gwen Stefani to teach us how to spell banana. So, you know.
Totally.
What about spacebar?
SPACEBEAR. Yay! This is spacebar.
Okay, 1 second.
I'd like to think that somehow I can contribute something to society that will advance us, but anything that I do will be greatly decreased by whatever the hell she's producing. There's just no way I can compete. It's like I'm adding 2 to society's betterness, and she's subtracting 1,000,000. How do you even begin to think you could... I don't even know. This is fucked. Society's fucked, guys. We're just going to get worse and worse.
Go bananas.
Totally.
All right.
Well,
I think it's time for Gods in
Wait.
60 seconds.
I have one thing to add with that. If you
Oh,
thought that
please.
Friday was bad, there's another song from another young artist, if you can call it that, and they're talking about the holidays. They're singing about Thanksgiving. It's Christmas. Wait, and then it's July. It's Independence Day, and then it's Easter. But wait, today is Thanksgiving. Yay! It's like fucking Friday all over again. I want to pull my eyes out and kill myself.
Please do.
Yeah, but you would still hear it. You would still hear it if you pulled your eyes out. So
You
just
gotta
take-
pop those eardrums.
take
some
spoons
needles.
and just, jam them in.
All right.
You'll hear
Okay.
a loud pop followed by nothing for the rest of your life, and your life will be better for it.
Wait, okay. This okay? And okay, I guess guys, and stop, kitty. Man, kitty.
That's a bad kitty.
It's a bad kitty. Okay.
Man, she's being a dildo.
And now, you shall all witness the genius that is Gauze in 60 seconds.
Genius.
Ingenious, I love
And
it.
begin. Push the button, sir. Push it, sucker back. GTA 5 finally adds online heists. Long-awaited online mode now available across all Xbox and PlayStation consoles. Coming to PC next month. I want PC now, though. Now, please, thank you. Bye-bye. Titanfall 2 confirmed the development of Respawn. God, there's just so many possibilities. Just shut up and take my money. I need it now. Sony won't refund PS4 user who lost $600 from hack. Now, we have since found out that he's been unlocked from this block. He can access his PS4, but did he get his money back? That we don't know. Sony gives up on PlayStation Mobile for Android. Motherfucker, you gotta be kidding me! Cop fired for making racist threats at Xbox. You dumb motherfucker. Just stop. Just stop playing games. All Titanfall DLC goes free on Xbox Live, One, and PC. I paid for the season pass, fuckers. I want a refund. Leonard Nimoy's Elite Dangerous Memorial revealed. Very impressive. Planet Cold.
Alright, and that was Gods in 60 seconds. I hope you guys enjoyed. Now,
They don't last that long.
yeah. Well, you gotta enjoy as much as you can in that 60 seconds, because that's all
Exactly.
Gods can provide for you.
That's all Gauze can provide you. 60 seconds.
And now,
Oh.
it's time
Sorry, I performed a
for...
little bit better than this.
It is time
Nope.
for everybody's favorite portion of the podcast. Are you guys ready for question of the week?
Question of the week.
We need to do something like that.
Yay!
Maybe we should have Phyrus do that now. Okay.
Alright, so
Can that
this,
be my thing?
if you want to take it over, by all means. So, this week's question of the week is, what is your favorite glitch/bug you've ever experienced in a game? Norgoz, go.
I got one.
Okay, yeah, y'all go ahead, because I just got a horrible one.
I don't care.
I didn't know we were doing an order. I thought we were just...
I got a good one.
I'm going to make guys go.
I can only think of one. Huh?
Just do it.
Think of one.
The only thing
Say
I can think of is freaking Missing No from Pokemon.
That is a really good one. Though.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
I want to go first before Norgoz. Let me go before Norgoz.
I knew somebody else had to have that one.
That's a fucking good one. I didn't even think of that.
I think David just spilled his beer. Congratulations, sir.
I almost did. I almost lost it. I'm glad I saw that because that's the fuck out of me.
The Missing No. For those of you who don't know, the Missing No, it was in Pokemon Red and Blue. No, it was not in yellow, but only in red and blue. You would go to a certain island.
No,
and
it was in
supposed
yellow.
to get-
You could actually catch it in yellow.
Oh, it was?
Catch it in red and blue too. It'd just be fucked if you tried to
catch
play
it
him.
and just fuck your shit up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just don't do it.
So there was actually this one time I was playing on my red version, and somebody and I linked my Game Boy to somebody else's Game Boy, and they had yellow version, and one of the Pokemon that they threw out in their version was fucking Missingno, and crashed my game on me, and deleted my goddamn save.
Yes, the one. That's the best.
Oh man.
It's just back as
What?
Old school trolling.
There were trolls even when we were kids. Just little kids. Like
since the beginning, when you're like
15 years ago.
Since the
We can't
invention
be
of
friends
fire,
anymore.
there's been trolls. People who have brought water to the fire and put it out, and then just, you're gonna die from starvation now, bitch. And then they ran away.
What?
What?
Trolls! They exist.
The ones under the bridge?
Water?
Guys, you're a horrible
Tom?
troll. Next.
Who's going
I
next?
Cage, go.
Mine was Missing No as well from Pokemon, so... gee.
What's your number 2?
Yeah, screw you. I don't have a number 2. I can't think of anything
Why don't
else.
you have a number 2?
Failure.
Who does number 2 work for?
That's right, give him hell.
Fine, try and think of someone. Next, Damien.
My favorite one is the most recent one I've ran into, and it's in Payday 2 on a certain map. If you crouch and go into the corner, you can fall through the floor, and then it'll teleport you to your teammates. So, yeah, I totally found it by accident. I was, like, shooting some people, and I don't know if it's like a map glitch, I guess. I was shooting at some people, and I'm like, oh, I got cornered, I'm backed up in the corner, crouched, and then I just fell through the map, and then I teleported to the other side of the map. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool. So, it totally got me out of a inopportune situation where I would have died, and then I proceed to misuse it to this day.
Yeah, pro tip about that glitch. What happens is it doesn't actually teleport you. You just start like floating across the sky to or
Yeah,
through
you
the floor,
do.
I guess, to the next closest player, or pick a random player for some reason. And what happened is more than one of us went into this glitch at once, so we got stuck in an endless loop under the floor, constantly chasing each other, like floating in space. It was the worst. Because one of those people had the objective that we needed to leave.
It's not good.
That's what you get for trying to fucking cheat
Well,
the
we just wanted to
system.
try it too.
Well, sometimes it's not always good to try new things.
That's what you get for cheating. Alright, next, Phyrus.
I've got 2. I'm going to do one first because I don't know what Highsight's got up his sleeve.
I'm gonna murder you if you guess mine.
So I'm going to do one that he's not going to get because I'm a big hockey fan, as you can tell back there. In NHL 13, there's a bug where if you check a guy up against the boards in front of the benches and
Yes.
the door is open when there's like a player change, if you check him at the open door, he fucking launches and he'll fly over the fucking glass into the stands. It is hilarious. I mean, and it's very repeatable too. I mean, it's just like you just lean into him and like check him like you normally would, and they just fucking launch like 30 or 20 feet up into the stands. So not only was this an awesome bug, and immediately got like YouTube clips all over the place, EA did a funny thing. Instead of trying to patch it, they actually filmed a mocap of them actually putting this into the game. Like, they did it on purpose. So they had like a dummy with like a pull rig. So they showed like the player with his motion capture, and then it like yanked on it, and it showed him flying over the bench. It was perfect. Not only did they own up to it, but they poked fun at themselves that it happened and that it stayed in their game. So yeah, NHL 13, the Herculean check over the boards is my favorite bug or glitch.
This is what they should have done with the other games, like, I don't know, Advanced Warfare.
Aha!
Instead of banning people from showing off the glitches, they could have done exactly that. You were classy before. What happened, guys? I mean, you still got my money. I just recently bought the season pass. That's what, over $100 of shit that I bought from you guys. The least you could have done is made me a freaking bloopers reel of the bugs. Come on.
If only. Well, for me, my favorite glitch of all time would have to be the Skyrim space program. And anyone here who's ever fought a giant knows what I'm talking about. There was a period of time where when you fought a giant in Skyrim, you would be launched into space if they hit you with your club. And it was hilarious because what would actually happen is they would hit you so hard that you would hit the skybox and the game would crash. It was hilarious. They would hit you. You'd fly up. You would hit the skybox, and the game wouldn't know how to handle you being outside the skybox. It would literally crash the game. So people have since referred to it as the Skyrim space program, and it's like NASA except much more game crashy, and it was kind of amazing. It was you. Damn! He hit you so hard the game crashed. I mean, how do you beat that?
I discovered that within my first like hour of playing that. Hey, what's this guy? Is he mean? Is he gonna be nice? Hey, what's going on? Boom.
Yeah, it's like, come on, I could beat that fucker. So what if he's 5 times my size? I'm gonna beat the crap out of him. Holy shit, he crashed my game. He was pissed.
Lydia, your house Carl following you around. You're like, Lydia, go home. She's like, okay, I'm gonna walk through this camp. No, Lydia, no.
I haven't saved in an hour, you assholes!
I smacked the game out of you. No, that's probably my favorite glitch. That was one of my favorite things ever. When I realized that I was so outmatched that the game itself realized, damn, you shouldn't be playing. Game over.
Fought the giant and the giant won.
Right.
All right,
and another one from Skyrim. Just in general, like the dragons in general, their pathing was so terrible, so they just start doing circles in the air. Or,
they would do these literal like full stops in the air and then just turn around 180 degrees and come towards you.
I had one get stuck upside down and it was just like flailing in place. Or there's another one where a guard was. I watched a video on this one, and the guard is talking to the player. And out of nowhere you hear, "Hurr!" And then a dragon just flies through the guy and takes him away. It's not part of the story as far as I know. Just gone. Skyrim...
It was not part of the story, I'll reassure you of that. You are correct.
Okay. I didn't play through the story in Skyrim. I collected butterflies for probably 20 hours, and then that was about it.
My favorite thing, actually, that's a good like glitch, if you could call it that, is you grab butterfly, like you're walking perfectly fine as normal, then you grab a couple of butterfly wings and something, you're like, it's like, I'm so heavy now.
Oh, right. When you surpass your weight limit.
Exactly.
For you. In the forest, talking about like getting, this getting space bar. If you grab in the forest survival game, if you make it's a little, I can't remember the actual name for it, but it's a cart where you will place logs into it. It's a moving cart. You can grab it and drag it with you. If you hit a rock, you just get launched up in the fucking air, like really, really far. Now here's one that not a lot of people really know about the forest. Now that I've said that, I don't know how to recreate this. We made a tree house, and you grab the rope and you climb into it. Actually, I grabbed the first time we made this treehouse. I grabbed the rope to climb into it. Instead of going straight up, I'm like this and going crooked, and I just climbed like 5 miles into the fucking air for no reason at all. I couldn't jump off. I couldn't move around. I couldn't let go. I had to climb all the way down, and I'm live streaming. This is like, I don't know, 20 minutes of climbing up and then like saying, "Oh shit, I gotta go down, don't I? I can't." I thought I could just let go and fall like Superman or something. I could never recreate it though.
If only you could, that'd be hilarious.
I know, right?
All right. So
Sorry.
it is my turn. I have two. I have the one that made me think of this question of the week in the first place, and then I have my actual favorite. So the one that made me think of this in the first place was back in the beta days of Firefall. You used to be able to hit the glider, or when you would hit the gliding pad to, spread your wings and start gliding, if you turned back around and landed on the pad again, it would launch you back up into the air, but then you would have infinite flying, and you could fly wherever you wanted to. And I used
Wait, what?
Yeah, I used to fly underneath the map, and I used to get stuck up in the skybox and go around the melding and all kinds of shit. It was so much fun. It was great. That's one of the reasons why I love playing betas so much, is because you find a bunch of stupid crap like that. Now that was patched probably within about 2 or 3 weeks, unfortunately. But during those 2 or 3 weeks, man, we had some good times. Like we would have 5v5 dogfight battles just using gliders. It was good. It was so good. And then I think my favorite bug/glitch is one from when I was a kid. You guys remember Red Faction, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Now
it was a huge thing back in the day.
There was one multiplayer map, and of course, there was no online multiplayer wasn't a thing back in those days. But
yes, it was.
It wasn't on console.
It was an attempted thing.
Not on console necessarily. Not really. Not a big thing.
And even on PC, you still only had very few games that were actually fun to play online.
56K sucked. Just saying.
But there was this one map where you had two sides, and it was kind of like a sniping map. It was this big perch type area on each side, and then you had a bunch of rocks scattered out in the middle, and you would try and run to the other side, and you had your sniper on your team that would try and pick everybody off, and it was fun. It was fun. But me and my brother found this glitch where if you go to the back end of the perch complex, and there was destructible walls and everything. Pretty much everything in that game was destructible. So if you started firing into the cement wall and making holes in it with your rocket launcher, if you started to go up and create a tunnel up into the sky, you would just keep on destroying cement just out of nowhere, even though there wasn't cement in the sky, and you would technically get up into the sky box, but while you're inside of this tunnel, you can shoot people in there, or shoot people on the map, but they can't shoot you. So you would be like hovering in the sky above the map, just looking down on everybody, just shooting them, and they can't do a damn thing to you. If they try to shoot a rocket at you, if they try to shoot you, it thinks that you're the skybox, so the rocket just keeps going. It goes right through you. It was so good.
Oh man, it reminds me of TF2. There was a period of time in TF2 people could find a way to get under the map, and they'd literally just put a sentry under the map, and it would keep shooting up at them, but nobody knew what the hell was hitting them, so they just go fucking crazy trying to figure it out. It was like, what the hell's killing me?
All these like FPS games remind me. There was a glitch in Quake 3 Arena in one of the first few patches. They patched it in. There was, I can't remember the map. It was one of two, and I don't remember which one it was. But you could walk into the wall and shoot out of it. It was actually a very small. It was a very small map. It had like 3 or 4 hallways and maybe an extra corridor or something. But you could walk into the wall and shoot out of it. And I don't think you could actually get hit from in there.
So, I don't know. Is this one considered a glitch? It was in Arcade. If you had a boat with a harpoon gun, you could use the harpoon gun to pull the boat across land. So we pulled our boat up the side of a mountain.
Yes.
And then we were shooting down on people, and then eventually we dropped the harpoon, and you just go sliding down the hill. And
No, Cage, it's not a glitch.
Wait.
That was a hover boat. It's
It's a
legit.
minigame.
Okay, that makes me think
a
of one.
feature.
There is
arcade
one
spin tires.
in Black Desert Online. I've witnessed this. I haven't done it personally, but in the the Russian version or the Korean version, there's you try to get on somebody else's boat, and they like disappear. They like disperse their boat or something. You go flying like 10 fucking 50 stories in the air, and you fall down and die, and you lose all your shit every time.
Shitty.
Yep.
Oh, man. The best glitches are the ones where you suffer the most, because from the outside
Yes.
looking in, it's hilarious.
All your base belong to us.
Exactly.
Okay, did you have another one?
No, that was the one. Land.
I have another one.
Landing. I haven't had a
In
screenshot from it.
old Worms games, if you do the ninja rope just right on a corner, your character will like flail really, really fast on that corner, and then if you like extend yourself out, it makes you go like 500 miles per hour on that ninja rope, and you can launch yourself anywhere. But you can keep the ninja rope still intact, so you still have mobility. And then so what you can do is like if you're on the bottom of the map, you can loop yourself around a thing and push yourself back on the ninja rope to go down a corridor, up and around down a corridor, and then you can place TNT and then bring yourself all the way back to the beginning. And it's just like, and then you just drop a bomb there. There's no way somebody can get me in this deep tunnel. No, they can't.
I remember, did you guys play the Battlefield 4 demo?
Yes.
Or the beta, I should say.
Yes.
No.
It was only out for a couple weeks, testing out their servers and stuff. But there was this bug, this glitch. Occasionally when you went down prone, well, sometimes you'd fall through the world, and that sucked. But other times, when you came back up, your appendages would be elongated. Like, you'd have like a long, slinky neck in your arms, and it would just be like this Silent Hill looking creature.
Suddenly you're like, hey guys, I'm a dinosaur! Ah!
Get these
Slenderman.
long necks,
Flailing out of a bush.
It's creepy as shit. If you Google it on YouTube, look it up on YouTube. It's like BF4 beta monsters, and they're just like get the long arms. They're going all over the place.
The giant like necks. Have you guys seen that? I was like, what?
Like
Please
the
kill
little
me
head
now.
on the end.
Right?
Yeah.
Please, can't breathe. Kill now.
Brundlefly, kill me. Yeah, that and there was a glitch I found in Firefall a while back, and actually I made a video clip of it. There's this one vendor out in the dredge area. You walk up to her, and her head detaches from her body, and it'll spin all the way around 360. And if you get in a certain area, her head will actually go upside down and turn around. It's creepy as hell. But yeah, maybe we'll link that down below. It's a funny video. Anyway.
All right.
Any other glitches?
Any honorable mentions before we get out of here?
No, I don't think so.
No?
I think I've got mine covered.
All right. Well, you guys know what that means then, right? Yeah. That means that
I get to go drink more beer?
Well, yeah, we all get to go drink more beer. That is officially the end of the podcast. Wait, what?
One last thing, I guess.
Wait,
We need to set up a night for us all to play Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Something
Oh,
I'm down. I got the
people to
game.
look out for.
Oh, which
And
also,
Helldivers.
I wanted to throw this in there. I just
Helldivers.
got PlayStation Plus back. So, if
Yes!
we want to play some
Have Helldivers yet?
Helldivers, I'm going to
Good.
pick it up tonight. So,
Cool.
if we want to play
I
some
just started the
Helldivers,
tutorial.
dude, I'm in. I'll play that shit tonight if you guys want. I definitely want to play that. First, I need to go put the kids to bed and all that. But
Well, I'll have to load up Skyforge on my laptop so I can play both at the same time. Do this and then do this and
do the
Norgoz,
things,
why are
you
you
know?
standing still? Look, I am trying to defeat a boss right now. It's very important that fuck, I'm dead. Who gives a shit?
You'll die in Hellbound way quicker than that.
Oh, I know.
Guys, stop killing us with the goddamn mech!
Oh, I will. I will use that mech so much, and I will kill all of you, and I will do the mission on my own. I
If
give
Titanfall
zero
had
fucks.
friendly fire, I'd stomp on all of you fuckers.
I would like summon a drop ship like every 5 seconds. And just a giant splat. Everyone dead.
Oh man, I need to play that like right now. You guys don't even know. I've been torturing myself.
Yay!
I've been torturing myself all week watching Phyrus play it, and I'm just like, God damn it, I just want to play. And now I can. I'm so happy. All right, but no, it is time to get the hell out of here. So thank you guys all for watching, enjoying, and hanging out with us while we sometimes talk about video games. Every now and then. Mostly talk about penises and joysticks and space bars and all that. But yeah, thank you guys for suffering through it. Don't forget, watch us every Saturday night at 5 p.m. PDT. And also follow us on Soundcloud. If you happen to miss any of these, then you can just listen to the audio-only version. Great for your drive to work.
SoundCloud, I love you. Thank you. Never leave me. Please! I need this! I love you.
And, like I said in the very beginning of this, we are all individual streamers with our own channels and Twitters and YouTubes and everything. So look down in the description below, no matter what you're watching this on or listening to this on, we have links there for you guys.
Please
now,
touch the follow button. Thank you.
Touch those follow buttons. Touch all of them. Just get every one of them.
Lovingly touch.
And then also I want to add this on here too at the end of this episode. We are going to be... God damn, my kid is
angry
right now.
It is bedtime. You better get out here.
It is bedtime.
You better put that motherfucker in bed.
Somebody put me to bed.
Bedtime. No.
But like I was saying, shit, I don't even remember what I was saying. What was I saying?
You're doing your closing statements.
That you're going to touch it lovingly?
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
lovingly touching the follow buttons and...
The thing that I wanted to mention was we are going to be doing a rebroadcast once a week, and it's going to be for about 12 hours long, and it's just going to keep on cycling through, and the reason why we're going to do that is so that we can hit a variety of different time zones. So if you happen to see that notification pop up that says rebroadcast, don't get mad at us. It's just so we can hit, people, or try and be convenient for the people that are in different time zones that can't catch us live. So thank you guys for joining. I'm Nakiato. You guys have a fantastic day. Say bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Have a good evening.
And
love you.
Okay, I love you. Bye-bye.
enjoy the outro music. We will see you again next week at 5 p.m. PDT. And don't forget, if you feel like calling in and leaving us a sexy voicemail,
say it sexy.
The phone number for that is 480.
Oh.
Wait, no, I was about to give my real phone number. That was...
That's area code now. Run! Oh, man.
You guys just have to guess the other digits.
The real...
1111.
The real fan call-in number is 480-269-5772.
Mm-hmm.
Leave us those sexy voicemails, or let us know what you liked, what you didn't like, call us out on whatever, or hey, just say hi, and let us know what your favorite glitch, was in a video game.
Or if you have a suggestion for a question of the week, that's an excellent way to get to
that
us.
Too.
We like that too.
We need more of those, people. Just
send them to our Twitter.
That's true. Send it to our Twitter, which is linked down in the description below. Alright, guys, we're getting the hell out of here. Enjoy this outro music. You guys have a great week. I will see you again next time. Bye. Hold on. I'm still doing my thing.
Play some more.